He had this special star power. This teacher was made to be the public face of teachers everywhere. What material could be better than bronze? I mean, bronze is forever.
Come down a little. Yep.
When he goes for a commission, it's because his heart is into it. And so that is poured into that clay.
It is unreal. There's no one that creates the human form like this gentleman does.
If you go to the New Hampshire State House now, you'll see a number of old white men. Putting Krista there brings the State House into the current century.
It needs to be first rate, and I didn't want to sacrifice anything, but we had to get it done really fast. I wasn't nervous when I started, but then, man.
Oh, why is it doing that?
And I'm like, is this actually gonna work out the way I thought it was?
That's never happened before. We had to figure out how we were gonna fix this as quick as possible.
It was really tough and a total team effort.
There's a lot more involved than just, taking a clay and having it bronzed. This is grueling work. It's really hard on your mind and on your body.
That's it. Beauty.
Oh my God. Oh man.
The greatest joy in life is when you can be part of something bigger than you.
Do you see it?
It's just such a wonderful thing to think that perhaps I could use my gifts and talents to elevate her legacy.
Major funding for Created is provided by the Idaho Public Television Endowment and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
I think that anybody who's ever had a creative endeavor that they've taken part in, there's like this intrinsic spark in you that enjoys that sense of creating, and there's a media that matches you, and that was sculpture and clay for me. It's very tactile, and to me it's very intuitive, like finding the form of an object or a person. Beautiful. Wow. Look at that line. And I've always had a fascination for the human body and how it works. Back muscles are excellent. This is a great pose. I didn't start sculpture till college, and I just totally fell in love with the media and three-dimensional art in general, and it was just so much fun that it felt like, I love that.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to do it the rest of my life, and I have been ever since.
Indeed, Benjamin Victor's work is in such demand that he could sculpt all day, every day. As he works in his studio in Boise, Idaho, Victor is surrounded by clay figures from the more than 60 monumental statues he's created, including 4 sculptures in the collection of the National Statuary Hall.
We're gonna do 1, 2, 3.
That makes him the only living artist with that many statues in the United States Capitol.
It's very surreal. They're all equally inspiring, and they're all equally sort of unsung heroes in their own way.
For Victor, capturing those untold stories is as much a part of his mission as making sure his subjects look as real as possible.
If you just focus on, the X's and O's of creating a sculpture that looks like them, that's good. I mean, that's half of it, but it's only half the battle. What's the spirit of the sitter? What's the spirit of the subject? My grandmother was an art professor, and she always said that an artist has to have great empathy within them. You have to be able to look at the plight of humanity or the plight of your subject so that the viewer comes to the piece and it pulls an emotion or a thought or a concept from them as well.
That empathy came to the forefront when Victor saw that the state of New Hampshire was looking for a sculptor to create a statue of one of its most famous citizens, Christa McAuliffe.
And the winner, the teacher who will be going into space, Christa McAuliffe. Or is that you?
In 1985, McAuliffe, a high school teacher, was chosen to be the first private citizen to go into space. The nation grew close to Christa as it watched her training for the flight. Always joyous, she emphasized the lessons she'd be teaching from space.
So hopefully, while I'm up in the shuttle, and this is going to be live, I will be narrating what is being seen out the window.
Challenger, go and throttle up. Challenger, go and throttle up.
But just 6 months later, McAuliffe died, along with the rest of the crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger, when it exploded shortly after takeoff on January 28, 1986.
Obviously a major malfunction.
We remember Christa McAuliffe, who captured the imagination of the entire nation. A teacher not just to her students, but to an entire people.
While there have been schools and centers named after McAuliffe, this would be the first statue of her, and the first statue of a woman on the grounds of the New Hampshire State House.
It is high time that we have a statue of a woman on our State House grounds. And I think to myself how important it is that we let little girls know that they can do whatever they want to do in their future.
The minute I saw that they were doing a Christa McAuliffe sculpture, I really wanted to do the piece. It's like one of those moments in your life that you'll never forget. Sadly, the tragedy of the Challenger disaster, it really hit home, especially with my mother being a teacher. And it's such a beautiful thing that they pour their heart into it the way they do. And I watched that with my mom growing up, and I know that that was the heart of who Christa really was.
Victor submitted a proposal that reflected the fortitude and commitment of teachers like McAuliffe and his mother, with Christa striding confidently forward.
It's easy to have a sculpture of her just looking to the stars, but that's not who she was or why she was selected or what she planned to do after her flight. Christa was a teacher. She was an educator. That was her vocation. That's what she loved. And he really captured the educator who was going into space, but with an eye toward the children of the future. I mean, that was one of the things she said when asked about what she loved about teaching. She said, I touch the future, I teach.
That deep understanding appealed to the search committee, which unanimously picked Victor.
His interview, on top of his remarkable talent, was just unbelievable. I mean, he really sang to the hearts of what this meant to him. It wasn't just a job to get this done. This was really about honoring Christa.
Unlike most of his commissions, which take at least a year to complete, Victor will only have 7 months to create a nearly 8-foot statue from clay to bronze.
That was one of the biggest challenges, was just getting it done on time and done well on time.
No matter the pressure, though, he starts as he always does, with a maquette, a small version of the sculpture.
I'm just making sure that everything's perfect before I jump right into the full-scale piece, because when you're going as large as I am, it's really, really important that you have everything worked out ahead of time. This is oil-based clay, so it stays workable. I like to get it nice and warm when I'm roughing out the piece. I love how her hair is just blowing in the wind in these photos. You have a lot of artistic license with hair. It can become almost an abstract shape on some of my pieces. I like the metaphor of wind, which can be a symbol for change, can be a symbol for action. She definitely took action in her world by being so brave. And then an educator always stands for change, because an educator is helping change the world through the lives that they affect with their teachings.
After getting the overall look the way he wants it, Victor then welds together a support structure over which he'll build the large version of the statue. He lines it up with the maquette to make sure the legs are at just the right angle.
Wow, perfect. All right.
It looks pretty good on this side.
Just 2 months later, Victor has made incredible progress, with the full sculpture almost done. The schedule is so tight that he's been working in his studio next to his house, so he can be there day and night.
Been working all around the clock every single day. Quite often, I totally lose track of time. You go into this zone where you don't really notice the outside world at all.
Throughout the process, he's been accompanied by a very special item, a NASA flight suit lent to him by astronaut Barbara Morgan, who also lives in Boise. Morgan, a teacher from Idaho, was the backup to Krista McAuliffe and trained with her. The two became very close, and when McAuliffe died, Morgan never gave up on their mutual hope of going into space. She moved to Houston to train as a full-fledged astronaut, and more than 2 decades after the Challenger explosion,
0 and liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour, expanding the International Space Station while creating a classroom in space.
Morgan achieved her goal when she spent 12 days on the shuttle Endeavour in August 2007.
Barbara Morgan seated down on the middeck, Morgan racing toward space on the wings of a Legacy.
To have a copy of the flight suit McAuliffe wore has been a huge help to Victor.
There's just so many little things on it, like the little seams and buttons and patches, that it would have been really hard to get that from photos. Like, I noticed all the zippers were kind of unique, like one would be halfway under, one's up and one's down, and one's hidden. So I did that on the piece.
One detail he also wanted to get right was McAuliffe's wedding ring.
I know how important the ring was because I know her family and her husband, those were just the center of her life. But I really like motion as well. I really put that arm out to the side, and she's really striding with a strength. That, to me, is part of capturing her character, not just her physical likeness, but the character of who she was.
2 weeks later, the clay version is done, complete with a message from the sculptor.
I signed my name and I put next to it a little heart and teachers, because I wanted to give the teachers a little bit of extra love. It's good to see this all come together. It's a tight little deadline here, but she's looking great.
The statue is about to become almost unrecognizable as the mold-making process begins. First, it's coated with a liquid rubber. Then cards are taped onto the sculpture to mark where it'll be cut into pieces. Then plaster is applied. After the shell hardens, the sculpture is cut into more than 20 pieces. Then the painstaking and ancient process of pouring wax begins.
This first layer is the most important because this is where we capture all of the details. It's going to be the exact replica of what the clay was.
Wax can get incredible detail. like even down to a thumbprint or a fingerprint. Everything before it goes to the foundry has to be just right in wax, because that's what you're gonna get in bronze. And then when the waxes are all finished, they're sent to the foundry where they dip them in ceramic shell, and then they pass them through a high temperature oven, and the wax is melted out, and that negative space where the wax was is refilled with molten bronze. It's a great process for creating fine art bronze.
So we're gonna get the wax layer about 3/16 of an inch thick, because if it's thicker, it's gonna create a really heavy sculpture, and bronze is not cheap. It's gonna be 4 coats. I'd say we're pretty close with that. Ben's one of my favorite artists, so the opportunity to work on some of his pieces, it's just, wow, that's what I do for my job. You know, it's awesome.
After the wax sets, the plaster and rubber layers are peeled back to reveal an exact replica of the piece.
All right, this is the hand, right hand. Let's see. All right, our thickness looks pretty good. You can see there's some seam lines here that'll have to be chased.
Each piece is then chased, with any imperfections carefully scraped off or corrected.
You can never tell there was a seam there. It's really important that we echo the creative work. When it leaves here, it has to be exactly the same as it was when it first came in.
Most of the work is done by Victor's team members, but he comes by to check out a very important piece.
Good pour. It looks really good. Everything from the wind-blown hair to her smile is looking good. I'm getting excited to see it in bronze.
The pieces are now driven 100 miles west to a foundry in Baker City, Oregon.
In about 2003, my father founded this company, Blue Mountain Fine Art. You just want to be able to recreate exactly what the artist made and make it their vision into bronze.
One of the first steps is to attach wax channels called sprues to each piece.
The metal is going to be poured in here, and the metal is going to run down in through all these sprues and run into the piece.
For Krista Griffith, this isn't just a task. She has a unique connection to McAuliffe.
Krista McAuliffe, I was actually named after her. My mom was pregnant when that happened, and she heard the name and just thought it was beautiful. It kind of feels a little bit like fate.
After the sprues are attached, the pieces are repeatedly dipped into a slurry mixture and then coated with sand to build up a hard shell.
It takes a certain type of mind and eye to do what we do here. Attention to detail, and you definitely have to have the motivation to want to physically work hard. You can be lifting over 100 pounds easy. The metal pouring room is definitely one of the most physically demanding areas because you can be working in extreme heat. The ovens that preheat the ceramic shell, those are 1,500 degrees. You have to wear heat protective gear.
Every 5 minutes it raises 50 degrees. So in 15 minutes, it's going to be 2,050. In and that's what we're going to pour it. All right. You guys ready?
As the head is being poured, though, the team hears something unusual.
Oh, that sounds weird. Never heard it do that before. Literally never heard it do that.
But they have to keep going. After the head is filled with bronze, it's cooled down. Then, in contrast to the months of delicate work on the clay, sheer strength is used to crack open the shell.
That's bronze right there.
As the face is revealed, though, it becomes apparent that the earlier sound was a sign that something isn't right.
A little bad stuff on the face right there.
That's never happened before. It looks like there was moisture, and then that got into the shell, and then you poured hot metal in there, and it's going to drive that moisture out. It was one of the worst castings I've ever seen.
He makes the decision to halt the process.
I knew Ben would want it to look exactly how he created it.
That was very upsetting because we were on a really tight deadline, and so we were scared that it wasn't going to be done on time. We couldn't afford another mistake at that point.
I was so engrossed in the show, I didn't know that I was on already. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Decemberfest. This is an incredible program. I'm so excited to be bringing this to you. I'm Tina Wright. I'm here with Andy Giacomazzi from the Boise State University School of Public Service. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us again, Tina. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're like an old pro already. I'm so happy to have you here with us. And you
I'm glad you added pro to that.
I know, pro. I mean the old. Oh yeah, I did say old too. You caught that.
Yeah, I caught that.
You brought some great students here.
We did.
Right before finals. They're giving up their Sunday evening
we
here.
have got the School of Public Service students right here, and they're a week out from finals, and they're trying to answer some phone calls. Now, we have had some calls come in, but
We had some.
what we want is a constant stream of calls at 800-980-4788. And I want to make one quick announcement, too, because I just got a text. My daughter and her partner and my granddaughter, Eiley, they're in New York City, and they're actually watching us right now on the YouTube feed. And it's coming in loud and clear. So, hi, guys. This is awesome. Yeah. And you can also give us a call at 800-980-4788, all right?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
They would love to take your calls of support. Thank you so much. And you know, a lot of your donations go to support these local programs. And we have a thank you gift. If you'd like to take one, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, we'd like to thank you with this great Hydro Flask tumbler, and it has our logo on it. It has a hot lid and a cold lid, and it's also a thermos. So a lot of goodies in that one package, and then a nice package of Sunrise Blend coffee, our very own roasted, especially for us, by Dawson Taylor Coffee Roasters. So please do give us a call if you'd like to take that thank you gift, 1-800-980-4788. And speaking of great things, we have some people to thank.
We do, because the phones were ringing previously. It's complete silence right now.
Right
We'd love
now.
to hear them ring. 800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org, and then you can go to Decemberfest and then click on donate now. But talk to our School of Public Service students. They're really friendly. They love to talk. Sometimes they don't stop talking in class either, but we like that as well. And I have a couple of them right here, Tina. Jody Mogensen from Nampa, Idaho, and we really appreciate Jody. And Shelby Sprake from Phoenix, Arizona.
Whoa.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Shelby from Phoenix. And then Janice Ellis from Nampa, Idaho has contributed to Idaho Public Television.
Thank you so much. That's all around, I can say all around Idaho, but all around the country, which is really, really nice. So thank you so much for joining in. I have Paul Boyd from Cul-de-sac, Idaho. Thank you so much. Melissa Ambrose from Boise. Thank you, Melissa. And Colette and Ken Olson from Idaho Falls. Thank you so much for calling in. And we really, really appreciate your support. And I'm going to throw it over to my colleagues, Jennifer and Marcia, with a very special guest. I think you'll be very excited to hear who we have for you this evening.
Thank you so much, Tina and Andy. You know, it's an honor to have you here with us, Ben. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to go back and see what happens next. So you left us all hanging here, man. And Marcia, what a wonderful program. We'll let you guys start talking about the program and then talk a little bit about our special experience.
Well, this is Benjamin Victor, the Benjamin Victor, who is the subject of the documentary. We have him here tonight, and it's great to see you. I mean, this happened a year ago, the filming of it, but watching it, talk about what it's like to watch it again, because we're at a very tense moment right now at the sculpture being, you know, at the foundry and some things happening.
Absolutely. They did such a great job producing this, because I am going through every emotion every step of the way, like start to finish. The joy of getting the commission, the sadness of the loss with Krista, and then all of the anxiety throughout the process, including what we just left off with the huge hiccup with the casting process. So it's just amazing to watch it and rewatch it and re-feel every step of the way with this sculpture. It was wonderful.
Well, the whole process is about emotion and feeling. It's not just a practical process. I mean, what you do is you put research and your own feelings right into that sculpture, like Katie says in the beginning.
Absolutely. That's always the goal, and it's just amazing to see and to think about all of the people that are involved in creating this and making it happen. It makes me even more grateful to everybody who was part of the process start to finish, and grateful to Idaho Public TV for putting this on and really educating people with arts, education, and STEM all combined into one thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. This is science and art put together. Now, you have a very special donation that you're making to the station tonight. Folks, listen up, because this is really unique. This experience that you're donating is a tour of your studio for 2 groups of up to 10 people. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. It'll be really special because we'll be able to have people come into the studio. I'll give a special behind-the-scenes tour of the process start to finish, from clay to bronze. So get your group, donate in, and you can come to the studio and have a special behind-the-scenes tour, personal, intimate, and really a wonderful time for everyone.
I would like to mention that this remarkable opportunity, there are only 2 of these packages available. So if you are interested, and I would jump on this right now, people, if I were you, call in that number 208-373-7246. For those of you watching on YouTube, that would be a long distance call, but that's our special, we call it the bat phone. It's our special number, and that we are monitoring. We have 2 of these packages available for you to be able to select a date that works for you and each of the groups, right, is what you said, that will work for you to do. And Ben is donating this to Idaho Public Television. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to support creative local programming that talks about the arts and talks about these stories, and is able to really share this emotion in a way that you don't see anywhere else but on public television. So please call that number that you see on the screen at the bottom of the screen, and I'll let you 2 finish and wrap up and talk about what's coming up next.
Well, the next part of the program talks about how this issue was solved, because obviously there was a sculpture in the end, and also introduces you to some of the other wonderful people who work on it, including the welder and his wife. You can see a shot right there. But I'm curious to know what you're working on now as well.
Yeah, I just got back from Normandy, France, where we dedicated 4 sculptures on the beach in Normandy, where the U.S. came to the aid of France to save the world. So it's just a beautiful time in the studio. And now I'm working on the next general that this D-Day will be dedicated in Normandy as well.
So if people come to your studio before long, that's what they'll see you working on.
Yes.
And perfect for today, because today is the commemoration of Pearl Harbor Day.
Absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
important that we continue to commemorate these events, and you do so in sculpture so beautifully. And again, here we see the studio tour that Mr. Victor is offering. What an amazing experience. 2 packages for up to 10 people to come to his studio. I've been there. My eyes are agog every time I'm there. So, you know, this is a very special opportunity. We found it special when we were filming, and you will find it special when you go as well. So.
Thank you so much. So we want to just remind you that this is for support of local programming here on Idaho Public Television. You can see the awards here that Created has racked up over the last couple of years. I mean, you're very out of the gate, you were receiving awards, and this year a very special award. Tell us a little bit about that, Marcia.
It was really special and kind of a surprise for me. The Daytime Emmys, which are given out in Pasadena, California, they don't normally honor regional programs, but they created a new category this year for regional programming, and we were nominated in that category along with stations from the other 18 regions in the country, and we won. So that was a surprise even to me, because I didn't realize we were nominated, but very special because it's a national award, and we were competing with stations from LA and New York and Texas and stuff like that. So that was really fun.
Well, we appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this wonderful program, and thank you for being here and sharing your art with us. I'm always so impressed to meet the artists who work on these kinds of special projects, and you have a very specific skill, and it's beautiful to see and watch in motion. So thank you for bringing this to all of us and sharing your story with us,
And I
Benjamin.
wanted to mention Troy Shreve, who is in the back,
Yes.
who's directing tonight. He can't be out here
Troy.
on camera because he's filling in for somebody, and this program would not have happened without Troy's skill at taking my script and making it come to life. He was the main photographer, videographer on this, and director and editor, and he had to work with me, which is not always easy. So, because I'm a perfectionist, and so
me when I was behind schedule. That was worse.
Yeah, you were texting us like, "Come over now."
Yeah, middle of the night.
So thank you to my colleague Troy, who is again behind the scenes, couldn't be out here tonight with us, but was very much a part of the project.
And again, we are going to be returning to the next segment of this show, and so appreciative to all of you who have called in. We want to thank Winco Foods again for feeding all of our volunteers tonight. And we'll be heading into some additional local productions after this show. But for now, we are returning to Created, Lifting Legacies. We'll see you back here in a bit.
We couldn't afford another mistake at that point. But the good thing about it is you have the mold.
So his team immediately pours a new wax mold for the head. This time, it's in 2 pieces.
It made it lighter to split it into 2 halves. You have a way better chance of getting a good casting with smaller sections.
Okay, you got her? Yeah. That's good.
Nice.
5 days later, it's time to pour again.
Everything looked good when we poured it in. Instead of last time it was bubbling, and it's gonna look good, yeah. A lot better than the other one.
It looks great to me. Definitely good news it turned out, and yeah, happy to see it.
The sprues are cut off, and then the head goes to the sandblasting room. Piece by piece, Krista is reappearing.
weighed up 550 pounds of metal today, and 22 different castings. When the artwork goes out into the world, maybe millions of people are going to get to appreciate that, and it's pretty good feeling to have that.
It will be the job of this man, Brian Jenkins, to put all those pieces back together. Jenkins' wife, Katie, who is also his assistant, has come dressed for the job.
When we build a piece, and especially a special piece like this, we try to give it some honor, learn about the history, and I'm a big NASA fan anyway, so it just seemed really fitting that pickup day was a good day to wear it.
You guys have a good trip.
The pieces then take their next trip, another 100 miles to Joseph, Oregon, known for its bronze artwork and foundries.
I've had a lot of people throughout the years refer to the metal tooler as the fixer. If you've been in it long enough, you have seen every single problem that there could possibly be. This one actually fit very well compared to more complex builds. It's incredibly rewarding for me because I remember the day and because I feel like she was a fabulous teacher that loved what she did. Ben's level of precision has always challenged me. And it's something as a metal tooler that gives you a lot of drive is being challenged. It's not just curls, but it's curly hair that's in motion.
Your welder is very important. When they're putting together the bronze sections, they have to each be welded together and they got to be structurally sound and strong. But then that welder has to also know how to chase and fix the welds so that the textures are matched perfectly so you don't see a seam line all along the piece. Brian's one of the most talented metal workers that I've ever worked with.
There's something about putting your hand on a sculpture of somebody. It's something spiritual. Especially children, they're gonna wanna touch it, they're gonna wanna feel the way the fabric folds and everything. So one of our jobs is to ensure that it is completely smooth. I feel incredibly proud to be touching a piece that means so much to so many people.
You always have to make sure that you're putting it back together the right way. It's called the attitude. I tacked all the pieces together to make sure that her hips were level. And then I knew that once I got her hips level and then right above her feet, that I could confidently weld the whole thing up.
There's certain points that have to line up. Everything else I have to make work.
I've had a lot of people that think that the whole thing is done by the artist, where it's done in clay and dipped in bronze, and that's the bronze. There's a lot more involved than just, taking a clay and having it bronzed. So when I pry here, that gap is wanting to close up little by little. It's a grueling work. It's really hard on your mind and on your body. The whole thing's a challenge. I love the fact that the Kristen McAuliffe piece is going to be displayed long after I'm gone. I take a great amount of pride in that.
This is just a very powerful piece. This is a symbol to the U.S. So to bring some positivity to something that was a dark period feels really lovely.
Two months after the sculpture left in pieces, it's back and complete. It's the first time Victor has seen Krista in bronze.
Looks great. I'm very happy with the form that you got and the attitude. Two most important things. Beautiful. There's sometimes where the metal worker can't get the stance right, the lean, so I'm really happy. They just did a beautiful job. Then that brings us into the patina stage. It's just two chemicals that we're using on the surface. Liver of sulfur that blackens it, and then we wipe it back and it still hangs in the lows. And so that creates kind of an antiqued effect. This patina would be what I often call it French brown. It's the safest patina you can do on bronze because it's just going to look like what people think of as bronze. I absolutely love doing patinas. I wasn't getting what I wanted out of the material of bronze until I really knew how to do patinas on my own. Oh, this is gonna be pretty. It's gonna look just perfect. And then we heat it and spray it with ferric nitrate, and then it's going to turn like a nice warm honey brown. That's beautiful. Honey color. Each one is heated by hand, and each one is treated with chemicals by hand. But that's the art of it, is the beauty that they're all different and unique. You can go more on the hair. Just like that. Perfect. You work on it and you just react as you go, and that's how the best pieces turn out. There's a lot of pressure on commissions like this. You're on a deadline, you have to get it right, and it's high profile. But I thought about the teachers in my life and how really, for them, it was always do your absolute best. And that's what I did all the way through. I mean, I really put everything I could into the sculpture. That's it. Beauty. That's perfect. That's the patina I wanted on her. I'm really happy with her. I think this is just how she was meant to look, and it couldn't have turned out better. Wait till you see these colors come out with the lacquer on it. It just deepens all that chemical. It's really gonna sing once that lacquer gets on it. She's gonna be beautiful.
Only 8 days before the unveiling ceremony, the statue is being prepared for its final journey, more than 2,500 miles to New Hampshire.
We made it by the skin of our teeth. It was really tough and a total team effort.
Forward. Watch fingers, watch fingers. Stop, stop, stop. Forward. Yeah, we're okay. We got plenty of room on one side.
I felt total relief when we got the patina done and it got on the band.
All right, that's good.
I think I'm like a really hopeless optimist when it comes to the start of projects. Because I'll get started and I think everything's just gonna go perfect. And then I get my hands in the clay and get started and it's like, oh, everything's behind even from the start. And I'm like, this is terrible. Why did I agree to this? I'm staying up all night, you know, waking up early. It's just, I can't do this anymore. And then I do it all again.
Hey, man. Astronaut Barbara Morgan, Krista's training partner, can't be at the unveiling.
Can't wait to see what you think.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my God.
But since she, like Victor, lives in Boise,
Oh man.
she stops by his studio to see the clay version of the sculpture.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. Where are her arms?
We had to take them off to do the molds.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You got the twinkle in her eyes like we talked about. I can't get over the details too you got on all the patches and everything. It's amazing. I'm glad the suit came in handy.
Oh, it did, because you can't see that level of detail in the photos. It looks like I got a little clay on there for you, too.
Good. Perfect. Perfect.
Gave her a little message here.
Oh, Benjamin. I love how you signed it. Oh my gosh. She would be really pleased. She really would. She'd be embarrassed, but she'd be really pleased. I love Krista, and he just did such a beautiful, gorgeous job on a beautiful, gorgeous person. And I know she would absolutely love Benjamin, too.
She just looks happy, positive, looking up and out.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of the kids looking up to her, you know.
For sure. She'd be proud of you. You'd love her.
Wish I would have known her or met her.
You do. I mean, it's obvious. You do know her. She knows you.
Thank you.
Wow.
We are here today on what would have been Krista's 76th birthday. Honoring someone who was such a remarkable woman was certainly no easy task. We were incredibly lucky to have found Mr. Benjamin Victor. His ability to turn bronze into life is nothing short of remarkable.
Thank you. What a day. Man, what a turnout. For the last 7 months while I've worked on the sculpture, I've felt like I've really gotten to know her. She was courageous. She really was. She went up there into the unknown to do something special for the next generation. Isn't that the real point of life, is to leave a legacy like this, like she did? And so it's just beautiful. You know, it's tragic, but there's a beauty in it. So that's why when you see the sculpture unveiled, she's smiling and she's striding forward, because that's the whole point of that legacy, is that we need to carry the torch on.
Krista would be so proud and humbled by this highest of honors conferred by her home state in her hometown. I also know this. She would want me to sternly stress that this statue must be seen and appreciated as she hoped to be seen and appreciated, as a classroom teacher representing her profession, as a stand-in for all teachers and all educators. Benjamin worked tirelessly with great care and concern. He wasn't satisfied to just make a statue. He really, really dug deep. Like you, we all can't wait to see Benjamin's work. Thank you very much.
The time has come.
Ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1, let her rip.
I can't think of anything better than a beautiful sculpture of her, where you can walk all the way around and you're there with her in body and in spirit.
I really hope that future generations will say, hey, not only is this Krista McAuliffe, who is the first educator astronaut, but the guy that created her statue is this world-renowned sculptor.
The greatest joy in life is when you can be part of something bigger than you. That artwork will last forever. It'll be there long after I'm gone. So just to be a part of that legacy, that's what it's really about for me.
Today is a really special day. You're going to be seeing the first woman on the State House grounds. Is that pretty exciting? Yes. So ladies, do you think it was about time? Yes. After 205 years, oh yeah. Do you see it? Is that pretty awesome? Yes. And what do you think of the statue?
It looks like it actually is like waving in the wind while she walks. I really like that. I noticed that she's wearing her ring.
The artist, he loves teachers, and he put something special on the statue. if you look up close, it says, I Heart Teacher. Do you think that's a cool thing?
We're honoring the entire profession of teaching, and that's often a profession that is not elevated. Teachers are some of the most important people in the world. Everybody has a teacher that they remember, that inspired them, that changed their lives.
She wanted them to believe in themselves and be true to themselves. And I think Benjamin captured that, Krista believing in herself and being true to herself.
Krista McAuliffe stood for something great that we should all want to be like. And I hope that all of them look up at that sculpture and want to study about Krista's life. I never would have thought I could even do this for a living. So I hope that inspiration comes through to other students. You can find a way to do what you love. You may not become the most wealthy person in the world, but success is how we define it. So that's where my life, I feel like a great success no matter what, because I'm doing the thing I love.
Major funding for Created is provided by the Idaho Public Television Endowment and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Well, I have to say, Ben, Marsha, and Troy Shreve in the control room directing us, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That had to be a gratifying, not only production to make, but a production that sits for time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Just seeing that again just brings back every emotion. Beautiful. Beautiful in every way with the children there and everything.
Yep.
Just wonderful.
Well, we are here tonight, last day of Decemberfest, to ask for your support for quality programs, local productions like this. You make it happen. 1-800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org. You're going to see a couple more tonight. But before we go on, we need to talk about this. This is just a beautiful program.
Oh, thanks.
I know that you slaved over this one. You and Troy.
They're all challenges in their own way.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
this one, because it had both process in it, you know, and explaining the process, and emotion and history. It was
stress.
And stress. Stress because you were under stress and we
She
were
likes
under
to
stress.
capture stress on camera. I don't like to be on camera stressed.
You're so calm right now.
Oh man, well it's all done and installed.
That's
so.
true.
But yeah, every documentary has its own challenges, but it was a true honor to work on this and to get to learn, to watch and to learn from Benjamin Victor, who's with us today, who's really a sculptor that we should be very proud to have in our midst. He's in demand worldwide, just came back from Normandy, working on a sculpture there, and he's working on some fabulous things right now. In fact, on the QT, but not so on the QT, I guess, since we're talking about it. There's a nice nexus with our phone bank operators who are from Boise State University, because you are working on a sculpture right now that has to do with Boise State University. We can't say exactly what, but if people donate tonight for a very special experience, they might get a chance to see that sculpture in the making.
Yeah, if they come to the studio, they'll get a tour, and chances are I'll be working on a very special piece for BSU. If you love BSU football, you should definitely donate and get this package. You're going to see something really great.
So we've got a little hint here. There's one package left. One is already taken. There were two packages. This is fabulous. For $500, up to 10 people can come tour Mr. Victor's studio. I've been there and was just in awe when we were filming, and so you will love it as well. They'll get to meet some of your team as well, and that's part of what was so interesting about this documentary, was to see how many people actually
Marsha,
work on the process.
One more thing with this
Yeah.
tour is a special phone number 208-373-7246. It's 373-7246.
KGB number, the
That's
internal.
That's the bat phone number.
The bat phone
Anyway,
number, that's
okay.
better. Yeah, so they'll get to meet some of your team as well, and we see that in the documentary, how many people actually work on a sculpture.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's an honor to be able to gift that in order to have your donations go towards Idaho Public TV. And just a surprise that you two don't know about, I'm going to donate and match $500 for these two gifts as well. So this is going to go a long way, so please donate. Take advantage of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's, yeah, I'm just, wow. No words. That's
this is a wonderful show. It will live for many years, just like the sculpture did. And thank you for being in the studio tonight with us. It's a pleasure.
It's a joy. The pleasure's mine.
Yeah, thank you. Now we're going to hand it over to Angie and Morgan.
Yes, thank you, Jeff and Marcia and Ben. Thank you for all the work that you do and letting us be part of the process and see how things go. And Janai are just talking about how much we have been moved by this program and what a treat it is. And this is all thanks to your contributions. You, as the donor, are the one that helps make it happen. And we are really glad to be with you this evening. Thank you, Angie, for being here with all the students. How is it going over there?
It's going pretty well, but you know, there could be a lot more phone calls. We got to keep these students awake. They're coming up on finals. They probably haven't had enough caffeine, so they need some phone calls to help support Idaho Public Television tonight.
Yes, they would love to talk to you. You could call and make your donation at 1-800-980-4788. And we'd love to thank you for your donation with one of our thank you gifts, including this really nice coffee tumbler.
Super nice. We love the color, the size, completely sealed. We were admiring it over here.
Yeah, it's safe. You could put it in your bag and you don't have to worry about your book getting ruined. Also comes with our special Dawson Taylor Sunrise Blend, which is a custom roast just for Idaho Public Television, and we'd love to send that to you. One way to become a donor is to become a gem.
Give every month.
Yes, give every month. This is a great way. You can set it up once, have it keep going, then you don't have to think about it month to month, and it helps to stabilize the cash flow for Idaho Public Television so we can continue to work hard and make the programs that you love and show you more about our great state. And Angie and I have a few people to thank.
Yeah, we want to thank Megan McGuire here in Boise, as well as Wesley Smith in Idaho Falls, who says they like the great sculpturing, love the arts.
Absolutely. We would like to thank Alan and Connie Ansell from Boise, proud to support Idaho Public Television. Thank you to the McNeely family, and they say thank you BSU students for being there, and thank you PBS. It is our pleasure, as we could say.
And my last one is Debbie Svankara in Buell, Idaho. Thank you so much for your support of Idaho Public Television.
Yes. And thanks to our friends Eve and Tom Chandler for supporting in so many ways. We are grateful, and they say hi to the whole team. So, hi from Eve and Tom. Let's check back in on the other side of the studio with Jeff and a guest tonight.
The other side of the world, right over here.
Yes,
with Forrest Berger.
we're right over here.
Right over here. Forrest, watching that show, that local production, another local production, two more tonight.
Two more tonight. We got Idaho Experience, and then we have Outdoor Idaho.
And this is all because of you. We keep saying that, but it's so true. Your dollars of support go directly to our local productions.
For people like me, Marcia, Andy, Troy, the list goes on.
The list goes on, and we need to hear from you tonight. Last day of Decemberfest. Things are going well, but we need to hear from you. 1-800-980-4788 or IdahoPTV.org.
You guys are the ones that make it happen.
Forrest, did you pledge early and pledge often?
I pledged early and often.
Okay. So this show coming up, Idaho Experience,
Yes.
Idaho's Sacred Places.
Yes.
You produced, this was Andy Lawless's kind of
Andy
production.
kind of ran point on it, and
but you
myself,
had one segment.
Marcia, the very first segment is the Old Mission at Cataldo, and that's the section that I worked on.
Yep.
Andy helped me on that, and I helped him on his segment, and so it's kind of been a real team effort.
Why Cataldo?
Why Cataldo? Well, for years I've been going up to North Idaho. My family has had property up there since 1946. And I've been by that mission so many times between Coeur d'Alene and Kellogg, and I go, I got to go there, I got to go there. And finally one time I went there and I went, oh, we need to do a story about this. It's got an incredible, incredible history with not only the Jesuit missionaries, but also the Coeur d'Alene tribe.
Yeah, and you told it well. It's a great program in all 3 segments. Stay tuned for the whole thing tonight. We really want to hear from you tonight. And then 2 more segments, so Marcia's piece.
Yes, Marcia's piece on the synagogue here in Boise, and also up in Cottonwood, Andy produced a segment on St. Gertrude's Monastery.
Yep, and so stay tuned for that. That's coming up right now. And we don't have names to read, but we're going to thank you in breaks coming up. We just want to thank maybe Edwards for bringing in the poinsettias for this holiday season.
Thank you very much.
We so much appreciate it. 1-800-980-4788 is that number to call. So
pick up the phone.
There we go. So when we go into this next program, enjoy this local production brought to you by you. So we'll see you soon.
Idaho Experience.
Idaho Experience is made possible with funding from the James and Barbara Semino Foundation, Ann Volokay and Louise Nelson, Judy and Steve Meyer, with additional support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and contributions to the Friends of Idaho Public Television and viewers like you. Thank you.
Idaho, with its strong faith, rich history, and natural beauty, has many sites deserving of veneration, sacred places known for their spiritual connection.
When I walk into this space, it puts me in a different place. There's just a kind of warmth to this building that is very beautiful to me.
Places that celebrate the natural world as a sanctuary for our souls.
I always like to see nature as a carrier. Every leaf, every blade of grass has a spark of divine.
Places that are made sacred by the community who gather there to worship.
We have Eucharist 5 days a week. That's where we enter into the totality of the Christian mystery.
There is a sacred quality to having the community together, and definitely my heart soars when the pews are full.
A place that celebrates the contributions that enrich a community.
You know, we're such a small town, but we've always had great services thanks to the sisters.
A place that provided refuge for pioneers and natives alike.
We're very proud of this place, of course. With the bare hands of our people, this place in the wilderness was built and become a beacon.
In this episode of Idaho Experience, we explore 3 houses of worship: the historic Cataldo Mission, the Center for Benedictine Life at the Monastery of St. Gertrude, and the Ahaveth Beth Israel Synagogue, a few of Idaho's sacred places that deliver hope and promise for Idaho's faith communities. It's the oldest standing building in Idaho, listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and the centerpiece of an 18-acre Idaho State Park. It was built on faith, vision, and cross-cultural respect. It's a sanctuary worthy of its monikers.
The Mission of the Sacred Heart, Cataldo's Mission, Old Mission. There's a bunch of names that this building goes by. It was constructed in 1850 and completed in 1853 by the Jesuit missionaries and the Coeur d'Alene tribe.
Decades before, Circling Raven, a tribal leader and visionary, foresaw the arrival of the Black Robes, or holy men, who would introduce the Coeur d'Alene to a new religion and a new way of life.
According to our stories, he had a vision of meeting these Black Robes with a cross. So we foretold that one day that they would come amongst us, and it happened.
And they told his people to be welcoming of these people when they came.
Father Peter Byrne is a Jesuit pastor at the Coeur d'Alene Indian Reservation.
How did he ever even have that sense or image of black robes? They feel that French trappers and Iroquois trappers came down into Montana and spoke about black robes because they were already way up in French Canada. So they went searching for black robes. And they went to St. Louis and met Father Peter de Smet. And he came into Stevensville, Montana, and was welcomed by the Salish people of that area.
Father de Smet was a renowned peacemaker and mediator. He dispatched a small group of Jesuits to establish a mission among the Coeur d'Alene, first along the St. Joe River. But persistent flooding prompted them to relocate it onto a hill overlooking the Coeur d'Alene River. Years later, Father Antonio Rivalli designed a permanent church, and as many as 300 Coeur d'Alene built it alongside the Jesuit brothers. Their tools consisted of little more than a broadaxe, auger, and penknife.
There were no nails used in the original construction of this building. It was all mortise and tenon jointed together. They used a wattle and daub technique to create the walls. It's a adobe-like method where they would take river grass and braid it and weave it, and then they would take river mud and pack it back into the walls as well. So the walls are approximately a foot thick each. In the back sacristies, you can see some of the original fingerprints from the Coeur d'Alene tribe as they were packing the mud in the corners and as they were spreading it out on the walls. The Coeur d'Alene tribe and the Jesuit missionaries were very creative and very resourceful with their means. In order to fashion their candle holders and their chandeliers, they were taking their goods that they had and recycling them. Father Rivalli carved all the candle holders out of tin cans.
The church of Cataldo mimics the front part of the main Jesuit church in Rome, called the Gesù, which is Italian for Jesus. Even if we don't have any denominational care or just the way it was built and all that, I think that's a pretty amazing building. And then there's history there. There was an encounter, and there still is an encounter. And like any encounter, you know, there's tension in the encounter, and there's forgiveness, and then there's hurt, and then there's love.
Drake from it.
The Jesuits had a sense of an invisible world, a sacramental world, that everything is images the unseen presence of the Creator. And that resonated, I think, with the Native people.
With the bare hands of our people, this place in the wilderness was built and become a beacon not only to Native people, but also to the pioneers and trappers, soldiers that came through the area.
But as more miners, loggers, and military poured into the area, tensions between whites and Native Americans rose. The Coeur d'Alene War of 1858 erupted between an alliance of Native American tribes, primarily the Coeur d'Alene, and the U.S. Army, led by Colonel Edward Steptoe and later Colonel George Wright.
They fought all through the Spokane Plains, through the Palouse country, and soldiers were pushing them back. My tupia, my great-great-grandmother was Halia, and she was a young girl at that battle. But they rode back to here, to Cataldo, I guess as a place of safety. Actually, this place was where they signed a treaty of peace with the United States government.
With a treaty in place, Cataldo Mission would go on to serve several critical roles.
Captain John Mullen spent some time here when he was putting in the Mullen Road from Fort Benson to Walla Walla. Father Cataldo, he was the Archbishop of the Rocky Mountain West. He had his headquarters here for quite some time. He was actually the one that founded Gonzaga University. The Mission Landing was where the steamboats would come up from Lake Coeur d'Alene and travel the Coeur d'Alene River. It was as high up as they could navigate. There were rail lines that would meet the steamboats and take people back to Lake Coeur d'Alene, take ore and take logs down the river as well.
In the 1870s, President Ulysses S. Grant signed a series of executive orders redrawing Native American reservation boundaries. The Coeur d'Alene Reservation Order excluded the mission. So the Jesuits and the tribe moved to De Smet, Idaho. A cornerstone for a new Gothic-style church was laid in De Smet in 1881, but tragically it burned down in 1939. After Cataldo was abandoned, it fell into disrepair, prompting the Boise Diocese to take it over in the 1920s to restore it. The mission had more work done in the 1950s, but it declined again.
The last major restoration was done in 1974 in preparation for the bicentennial of the United States. The building was left uninhabited and unmaintained for some period of time, so a lot of vandalism did occur. People were starting fires in the middle of the floor in the main sanctuary here. All of the main floor has been reproduced. The flooring underneath the altar is still what is original in this building. If you look closely, you can see all the hand-hewn marks from the broad axe strokes as they were flattening those boards out.
The state of Idaho turned the property into a state park in 1975. The Boise Diocese deeded it back to the Coeur d'Alene in 2001. Today, it's managed in partnership with the tribe and the Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation. The park includes a museum housing a Sacred Encounters exhibit.
It was a happy treaty, if you will, with the state of Idaho to have the state parks take care of it, and they're doing a heck of a bang-up job. This place is ours, but it belongs to all of us, I think. Not only in the Coeur d'Alene tribe's heritage, but a lot of the people around here, too.
The relationship between the Coeur d'Alene and the Jesuits has endured the test of time, but as Father Burns sees it, it might be best described in one word.
Complicated. Complicated. Even though we came at the invitation of the people, which helps a lot. I mean, we didn't just kind of show up and said, hello, we're here. No, they wanted us here. And the Coeur d'Alene all became Catholic for the most part. You know, the Catholic experience in those days could be pretty strict. So a lot of them felt they couldn't still be Native and be Catholic. I mean, so that's where the complication comes in.
The Lord be with you and with your spirit.
There's a lot of respect for us. I mean, I'd always heard this before, that we're not seen exactly as white people. One thing my uncle said, and he says, you know, I don't want to be Indian. I want them to be Indian so we can have a real encounter, a real relationship.
His uncle was Father Cornelius Byrne, who served as pastor for the Coeur d'Alene for decades.
He came here to De Smet in the early 30s. The Native people gave him a name, He Who Is Great in the Heart, in Salish. And then he became the first white person and the first Jesuit, but first white person to be buried in the cemetery. And he was the first honorary member of the Coeur d'Alene tribe, non-Native. He encouraged the tribe to make a pilgrimage back to the church of Cataldo to capture again the coming of the Jesuits and the meeting with the Coeur d'Alene people, and together how they built that church.
The pilgrimage coincides with the Feast of Assumption on August 15th, a special day in the Christian faith. It grew so popular in North Idaho that it became problematic to the Coeur d'Alene people.
If you get a certain proportion of non-Native people coming to any event, the Native people they withdraw. It became such a tourist thing. Again, the Natives just kind of withdrew. We've lost that too.
The Feast of Assumption pilgrimage may be smaller today, but it remains important for those who attend.
Holy God, our Creator, we pray.
One of the Jesuits has worked with Native people for 50 years. Kind of gets this feeling from them. We're rising. We're finding our voice. We're not just to be pitied. No, there's a future.
The body and the blood of Christ.
I told my grandson, I brought him in here for the first time today. His name's Takesha. And we walked in here and I told him, I said, your great-great-grandparents built this. I said, you know, and he said, they did. He said, yeah. I said, they did. They did a good job. He said, yeah, they did. He said, this is awesome. You know, he's going to remember this and he's going to keep coming. And when he comes in, he's going to have a profound sense of who he is. If you sit up here in the night, you can hear the voices of our people, or you can hear the animals talking, or you can hear the whispers through the trees. We fought hard to get the land back into the ownership of the tribe. Our ancestors are buried here. If there was ever a holy site in Coeur d'Alene country, this is one of the places that would be a sacred site.
Wow, what a beautiful program.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. We are so lucky at Idaho Public Television to be charged with telling Idaho stories. And I love that we get to explore the whole state from our comfort of the studio here or even at home. We're just so lucky, and this show really makes me think about that. I'm Morgan Keating here with Andy Giacomazzi from Boise State Public University.
Thank you so
Boise
much.
State Public University.
Something like that. We know
I just
what it
put
is.
our organizations together.
I love this program too because, like so many other local programs on Idaho Public Television, it really brings to life what we do in the classrooms. And to be able to see it like this really does show that Boise State, the School of Public Service, Idaho Public Television all have this great educational mission.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love to work with you.
Lifelong learning.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell us a little bit more about what's happening in the classroom right now.
No, we have so many great things going on in the classroom throughout the School of Public Service. Our awesome students are right here from the School of Public Service too, a week before finals, waiting for your phone calls at 800-980-4788. Sounds like maybe all the phones are free and now there's one ringing. We'd love to hear that sound.
Yes.
Let's see if we can light them all up like we did in the last segment, by the way.
Yep.
They were all lit up. Morgan, I just wanted to say a couple things about a couple of our institutes in the School of Public Service. We have the Idaho Policy Institute. They're in the middle of putting the final preparations on our Idaho Public Policy Survey that's going to be released this January. And that is a statewide survey to see how Idahoans feel about all kinds of important issues. And then we also have the Frank Church Institute, which has been an institute around Boise State University for decades, 40-something years, and we have now entered into a long-term partnership in the School of Public Service with the Frank Church Institute. And we have a program that's coming up here in just a little bit in the Frank Church Wilderness about volunteerism. We can't wait to see that, and Frank Church so grateful for him and all he has done for Idaho.
Yes.
And we are so grateful for the Idaho Policy Institute and, of course, the Frank Church Institute as well.
Yes, it is such a great legacy in the state of Idaho. We were proud to profile Frank Church in Idaho Experience last year, and you can always find that on our website, idahoptv.org. And we'd welcome you to become a GEM, someone who gives every month. We'd love to have your donation be ongoing so that we can count on that funding support to make more programs possible. And we'd love to say thank you as a GEM. We've got a really great coffee mug here. You could put a hot beverage in it, or it also has the sipper lid for cool beverages.
And these are the ones that actually go nicely into your drink holder in the
Yes.
car too. Some of the other ones have the big base. This is a great one.
That's right. That is just the right size. We'd love to see this logo out and about with you and enjoy the Sunrise Blend from Dawson Taylor, a really nice roast of coffee that will keep you energized throughout your days. And just a reminder that another benefit of your donation is Passport, the online streaming service where you can find all of your favorite PBS and Idaho Public Television content at any time. Download it to your mobile devices. It's super easy. If you do have any trouble downloading or getting connected, call us and we will be happy to troubleshoot with you. We have actual experts who know how this works and they can get you connected so that we'll be with you all the time. And we would like to check in with our guests on the other side of the studio. Let's send it over to Scott.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Decemberfest. I'm Scott Graff, Director of Content and Operations here at Idaho Public Television, with Marcia Franklin and Forrest Berger, two of our wonderful local content makers. And we're going to talk about the importance of telling Idaho stories by Idahoans, for Idahoans. But if folks are still tuning in who might have seen our created segment show a few minutes ago, earlier in the evening, it's a wonderful show about Boise-based sculptor Benjamin Victor. And Marcia, we have some exciting news to share about one of the thank you gifts.
Yes, we still have a package left. Sculptor Benjamin Victor was so kind. He donated this experience. For $500, a group of up to 10 people can come to his studio and see what he is working on. This is really a fabulous opportunity. Up to 10 people can come along, and I know he's working on some really exceptional things right now, including a piece for the beaches of Normandy. He's also working on something from Boise State University. So if you're a alum or a fan of Boise State University, you might want to go at that time. He's working on a beautiful sculpture of a Native American Pawnee woman right now. So lots to see. And this is something exceptional. This is experiential. It's one of a kind. It's, there were only 2 packages. So I would get right on that if you enjoyed the documentary that you just saw about Benjamin Victor.
And a special number there, 208-373-7246. That number is the number to call if you would like to get that final one. Forrest, we are watching one of our new shows that we are debuting this week.
Idaho's Sacred Places.
Idaho's Sacred Places. We're about to see the next segment when we head back into our programming. You have been making content in Idaho for some time now. Why do you think it is important that there is an outlet like Idaho Public Television that tells these stories about our state for our state audience?
Well, I think that these stories that we tell, Marcia, myself, and all of us here at Idaho TV, is that it kind of brings different cultures and different people together that maybe normally wouldn't be seen on a local TV news show or something like that. I think, we really get the opportunity to tell these stories about people that are impactful in Idaho.
Marcia, I would ask you the same question. You've been doing it for a very long time. Your skill is on full display tonight. What is it about this work that you feel like drives you and that feeds your curiosity as really an art maker, someone who makes art?
Well, life is short, and it is really important to be able to capture the voices of our elders and for perpetuity. So one of the things that we do here is we have these interviews that we do and experiences that we follow that are in our archive for years to come, for researchers, for people in the future. We are preserving those stories. And I think that that's really important, and we have the opportunity to do it, as Forrest was saying, not all stations do. So we're about to go into a piece. You can see a scene here of Tenzin. Tenzin is a 13-year-old who allowed us to see her bat mitzvah, which is a very, very important ritual in the Jewish faith. And this is for a piece on the synagogue of Boise, which is a fascinating story, both historically, and then also it actually was lifted up and moved across town, and we show that. So I think that this is an example of a story for the ages. And I want to thank Tenzin and her family for letting us see this experience. And we've just gotten the word that both tours of Benjamin Victor Studio, are gone. Thank you.
Very generous.
Thank you to the 2 individuals who called in for those packages. And you're going to be, if you're friends with them and you get to go on that tour, that's going to be very, very special. So we thank Benjamin Victor as well for donating those. He believes in public television. We know you do too out there. Please give a call to these phones that are very silent, and the students from Boise State University who've joined us tonight.
Pick up the phone.
And hope you enjoy this next part of Idaho Experience, Idaho's Sacred Places.
It's very, very nice.
Yep, you can see the number on the screen there, 800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org. Marcia, you have some thank you names we need to be reading before we send it back across the way.
I really want to thank Gary Wensky. Gary, thanks for calling in, and he is calling in honor of Angie Boss and Andy Giacomezzi. Giacomazzi, who's here tonight. Thank you so much, Gary Carmen Lutgenau. Thank you so much. It looks like you live near one of our producers of this program, so thank you. Martin Manning from Mountain Home, thank you very much for calling in. Emily Gerstenberger from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, thank you. Deanna Brown from Boise, Idaho, thank you for all you do. She says, I'm canceling one of my streaming services so I can donate to you every month. The quality content you create is too important for it to go unfunded.
Thank you very
wow.
much.
Wow, what a wonderful
that's
comment.
Incredible.
And thank you to the Boise State student who wrote all of that down for us to read. So please keep them busy by calling the 1-800 number on the screen. It's very easy to do, and we really appreciate it.
And we're going to send it back across the way to Andy and Morgan.
Well, thank you. And thanks so much, Marcia, for the inside look and for us telling us a little bit more about how the programs are made. We do want to remind you that we are fundraising tonight. We need your donations. You can call us at...
Well, it's 800-980-4788, and it'll get you right over to the School of Public Service students who are waiting to take your phone calls and your contribution to Idaho Public Television. They're right over there, and they're super friendly.
Yes.
They really are. Well, all but one of them, but I don't want to mention anything.
That's right. Yes, we are grateful for your time being here, students, grateful to the School of Public Service for partnering up with us year after year, and grateful to Dawson Taylor for keeping us caffeinated and going strong tonight. We'll back to Idaho Experience, then looking forward to Outdoor Idaho and Broadway's Leading Ladies tonight. Thank you.
On a crisp fall morning in Boise, Idaho, 13-year-old Tenzin is going through one of the most important rites of passage in the Jewish faith, a bat mitzvah.
The word bat mitzvah means daughter of the commandments and suggests that at this point in a person's life, they're responsible for their own Jewish identity.
Ulai yesh hamishim tzadikim.
And one of those responsibilities is reading from the Torah, is leading a worship service.
Hamishim hatzadikim asher bekirba. Ulai yesh hamishim tzadikim betoch ha'ir.
For Tenzin, it's the culmination of a year of studying, as she learned to read part of the book of Genesis in Hebrew.
It's kind of hard to read because it's made so long ago. There are no spaces between the words, and there's also no accent marks under the characters.
But all the work has been worth it.
I really wanted to come closer to the Jewish community, and I think it's a really cool experience. And I don't know, I just feel more connected with my religion that way.
It is a privilege to enter into such a sacred space as this.
The important event is taking place at Ahaveth Beth Israel, a historic synagogue that's been in use for nearly 130 years. It's believed to be the longest continually operating synagogue west of the Mississippi. Originally called Congregation Beth Israel, it was built in 1895 by a group of German-American Jews who had settled in Boise in the mid-1800s. The building sat prominently in downtown Boise, a few blocks from the state capitol. At the time, there were only about 50 Jewish families in Boise, but they played important roles in the community. The synagogue's founders, for instance, included Moses Alexander, who owned a popular chain of men's clothing stores. Alexander served as the mayor of Boise for 2 terms and was also Idaho's governor from 1915 to 1919. He was the first practicing Jew in the United States to be elected governor. Other founders of the congregation, the Falks, also owned a store.
Typical story in the West, Jews tended to come with mining booms. The Jews set up shops selling clothing, dry goods, food, furniture, etc., as towns developed.
The synagogue was designed with a blend of architectural styles that harken back to areas of Europe where Jews had lived.
The outside, the wood shingle, is very typical of parts of Eastern Europe. When you come in, by contrast, it's really Moorish. The shape of the arches, is kind of a Moorish revival, which was popular in the late 19th, early 20th centuries. I think for synagogues because it recollects what was seen as a golden age for Jews in Spain.
In 1895, the local newspaper heralded the construction of the synagogue, saying, "When completed, it'll be one of the finest church edifices in the state. A noted rabbi will be here to dedicate the synagogue, and the congregation will engage the services of a rabbi to locate here permanently." It would take some time for that prediction to come true, though. It wasn't until 1994 that the congregation finally decided it needed a professional leader. It chose Dan Fink, a 12th generation harmonica-playing rabbi with a penchant for dry humor.
It took 99 years, but in Jewish time of thousands of years, I guess 99 years is soon-ish.
Fink would become the very first permanent rabbi in the entire state of Idaho, a fact noted by national news media. And from the beginning, the history and intimacy of the synagogue attracted him.
I always thought it was like a kind of a little jewel. There's just a kind of warmth to this building that is very beautiful to me. Through my rabbin, and I would sometimes just come in here and sit, and it was always meditative for me.
He sometimes needed that quiet to figure out how to manage a growing congregation that was also the result of a merger in 1986 between two very different groups. One was the original Beth Israel congregation, which operated in the Reform tradition of Judaism. The other was Ahaveth Israel, a conservative congregation formed in 1946 by Polish Jewish immigrants and their families. It followed more traditional customs, including using a different prayer book. Ultimately, the rabbi settled on a Reform prayer book for Friday night services and a conservative book for Saturday morning services.
To see a community that's built by two communities coming together, I think is significant. And I think there's something beautiful in that, and it's part of what attracted me, honestly, to the job in the first place.
After the merger, the larger congregation needed more space for its Hebrew school and events. And the synagogue's historic site was rapidly being encroached upon by an increasingly commercialized Boise.
People often referred to the synagogue as Congregation House of Subway because the Subway sandwich shop had their sign, on what was basically our shared lawn.
So in 2003, the congregation decided to move the synagogue to a 5-acre plot of land about 2 miles away, where a new school and social hall were being built. Moving a building that was more than a century old took some chutzpah.
When they lifted it off the foundations and you heard that, it was a little nerve-wracking. Once we got past that initial creak as they lifted it off the blocks, pretty confident. Kia Gedolah! Kadima, we go forward. To move a building like that, they have to do it in the middle of the night because they're constantly lowering traffic lights and power lines. And there was a kind of whole choreography to it. The building would wheel and then it would get to the next intersection and the building would stop, they'd lower the lines. Building crawls through, lines go back up, onto the next one. It was a real celebration. We had people carry the Torah scrolls and, hundreds of people walked behind that synagogue, many, many who were not Jewish. It was amazing. It was one of the memorable nights of my life. The idea of journey is so deeply embedded in Jewish DNA, right? I mean, the Torah is essentially the story of a wandering people, of going out of Egypt, and then so much of Jewish history is a kind of journey from one country to another. It was a kind of little microcosm of something that is really at the heart of the Jewish experience.
More than 20 years later, the education building teems with activity.
And ready for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat.
Children at summer camp are learning Jewish songs and other cultural traditions, like how to braid challah bread, which is eaten every Friday night by observant Jews.
All right, so I'm going to teach you 2 different ways you can braid, which is pinching them together at one end and then braiding just like you would if you were braiding hair. Traditions are important. We say in Judaism, lador vador, from generation to generation, so it's important that we pass down not just the religious teachings, but the things that connect us with our ancestors.
Let's just do a little recap. We are taking a look now at Martin Buber, I and Thou.
Adult education is in full swing as well. And the classes are being taught by a brand new rabbi hired after Rabbi Fink retired.
So there is no I without either an it or a thou.
Johanna Hershenson is one of the more than 1,200 female rabbis who've been ordained in the United States since 1972.
I think what drew me to becoming a rabbi is the opportunity to teach. And not only the opportunity to teach, but to teach Torah, to make ancient traditions relevant today, here and now. Torah is technically the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. Pulling the Torah out of the Ark every time I do it is really a special moment, right? I'm taking out these scrolls that the Jewish people have been engaged with for thousands of years. One of my teachers says that Torah study is the longest running book club ever. And I think about that every time I pull those scrolls out. I look and sound very different than a rabbi from 1300, and yet I'm engaged in the same conversation.
Bereshit bara Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai. Eloheinu melech haolam.
That ancient conversation continues in sacred spaces outside of the synagogue as well.
So this is called a sukkah, and we put it up as a celebration of the harvest to remind us of the time when we as Israelites camped in the desert under temporary structures. And throughout the whole week, we eat in them, we sleep in them, and we have our kids decorate them to make them joyous. So there's scissors to cut some string. You can use pipe cleaners. Get creative, okay?
The sukkah is temporary space, but it is still sacred space. A space is made sacred by what we do in it, by how we relate to it, which is relationship, which is supporting community and gathering and holding space for people.
As Tenzin receives the Torah and marks her transition to adulthood, the Jewish community, her family, and her friends are all there to hold space for her.
I view it as such a privilege to hand the responsibility over to this young person.
It's really magical. I feel like I'm on top of the world, and I don't know, it's just so special to touch the sacred scroll.
There's also something special about this ceremony happening in this sacred space, which has been a refuge for Jews for so long.
I feel the presence not only of the people who show up, but of Jews who came before us in this town. And to me, that is just really energizing. It gives me a sense of rootedness, but also a sense of confidence as we find our way forward.
And good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Idaho Public Television tonight, our final night of Decemberfest. Welcome to a studio that is full of volunteers. We're going to push pause on our programming right now, and the number on the phone is where we need you to step up and make your pledge of support tonight, 800-980-4788. You can also pledge online, idahoptv.org. Marcia has some very special thank yous that she would like to read on air.
Before we proceed, I just wanted to let you know that both packages of the tour of sculptor Benjamin Victor's studio are now gone. Thank you to those who purchased them, and for the people going on those tours, you will have a special treat. And I wanted to give a shout out to some people who've donated. Mark and Romy Rasmus, whose child Tenzin was just in this piece, showing us, letting us see her beautiful bat mitzvah. Thank you so much for your donation and for letting us really get a glimpse of something that is so special. It was really an honor to be there. And Tony Brader from Twin Falls, Idaho, who I understand is a rabbi himself, called in and made a lovely donation, said, "We appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much, Rabbi." Sally Howard, also a lovely donation from Boise, Idaho. Thank you. Conra Hunter from Boise, and Elaine and Shane Watkins from Deary, Idaho, Shane Watkins Arts. So these are all individuals who support this type of programming. Won't you give us a call tonight and let us know that you do? It's very unique, very special, and we're preserving these stories for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcia. 1-800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org. This is our final night of Decemberfest. If you've heard our message, but you have not had a chance yet to pick up the phone and call or log on and pledge your support, please do so now. Thank you very much. We're going to send it back over to the main desk with Jennifer. Jennifer.
Thank you so much. It's just so heartwarming, isn't it, Angie, to see all of the support that we have in the community for organizations that serve the public and serve the community, like Boise State, like your volunteers here with the School of Public Service who are staffing the phones, and those of you who are calling in. I just want to say personally thank you. It's just so heartwarming to see all of these smiles and smiling faces in this studio tonight. So there's time to call in, talk to these great students, and we want to read we need to talk about some of the thank you gifts that are associated with this show first, don't we? We need to talk about that. So we have some playing cards. These are beautiful, we don't have any on the table here with us. It's a beautiful deck of playing cards with these scenic parts of Idaho that are on each of the playing cards that make for a nice stocking stuffer. So if you want to be a donor who gives every month, this is maybe a great way to call in, or if you're already a donor who gives every month, that could maybe be a great thank you gift as well. And then of course we have this Hydro flask that we've been talking about with a hot and cold lid. And then this coffee was specially blended by Dawson Taylor for Idaho Public Television. And so this is another wonderful thank you gift that we would love to show our appreciation to all of you who call in tonight. But you can only do that if you call or go online, right?
Phones aren't very active right now. Please give those students a call. They'd love to chat with you and take your information.
Yes, and they do a very good job. They are very good at it. Should we call?
We have some folks to thank here tonight. Kim and Jerome Teal from Dayton, Washington.
Nice.
And also Christy Sellers in Meridian, Idaho.
And I want to say thank you to Patrick and Kendall. They are actually watching my dog tonight while I work. So hi, Maverick. And I want to say thank you to them. I also want to do a shout out to my mom and dad who always watch and always call in and support Idaho Public Television and have for many years. So thanks to Holly and Jerry as well. When you are a donor who gives every month, that is just a wonderful way of supporting Idaho Public Television with ongoing monthly gifts. And it's a wonderful way for us to be able to count on that monthly revenue and the sustainable support we need as we plan our budget. Oh my gosh, look at how many new gems we have been able to. Oh my gosh, thank you everyone who has called in to sign up to be, you have blown our goal out of the water.
So
that's kind of like how it feels to be a Bronco football team, right?
That's right.
Kind of like, win
Mountain
and
West
win.
champions this week.
Awesome, yeah. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thanks to those who are calling in. Let's go to the team and hear about what's coming up in the next segment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jennifer. We appreciate you sending it over this way. We have our final segment of Idaho Experience, Sacred Places tonight. For us, this is a show that you have worked on for a I have a microphone being handed to you. A series of months and months. I would like you to just talk a little bit about the production process. For folks who turn on their television, they see wonderful shows about Idaho history through the minds and hearts of storytellers like yourself. This is not work that gets done quickly. Give us an idea for the process.
This particular show has been in the works for probably a couple of years. Originally, was going to be the Cataldo section was going to be part of another show, but Andy Lawless, who is the lead producer on this, had an idea to do this Sacred Places show. He said, why don't we take the Cataldo piece and put it over there and in that show? And so I think we started 2023, something like that. Marcia's piece was done quite a bit quicker, but Andy and I worked together quite a bit on the other two segments for quite a while.
Quite a while, yeah, and it's fun. I am new at the station, and I get to see all of you work behind the scenes and all of the tweaking that goes on, and weeks and weeks in which we lock you in the studios and don't let you out. We slide food underneath the door. And we have more content coming up. We're very excited to be debuting this show tonight. Our new Outdoor Idaho is coming up in a few minutes as well. We've also got a season full of content coming up in 2026. If you're a fan of American history and you want to better understand Idaho's role in American history, we've got new shows for you coming up in March of 2026 as well. And something else to keep in mind with under the Idaho Experience brand, we've also in early November debuted a Harmon Killebrew documentary. Eric Westrom did a wonderful job on that.
Excellent. Yeah.
And Andy on our team as well, Andy Lawless, made a wonderful story in September about Teeter's Knoll, the only Frank Lloyd Wright structure that overlooks the Snake in South Central Idaho.
If you haven't had a chance to go see that place, you've got to see it.
Yep, and all of those shows are available online. You can see them on our YouTube page, also on Passport as well. So lots and lots of great content, and your dollars make a difference. We are here tonight raising money in the final night of Decemberfest 2025. 800-980-4788 or Idaho Public Television, IdahoPTV.org. Your dollars make a difference. Coming up tonight, the Outdoor Idaho, Doing Good in the Great Outdoors, debuts at 7. And then at 8:30, we've got Broadway's Leading Ladies, and you can make your pledge of support. And once you do, you know that you will have taken care of that for the year to come.
And you take care of us.
Yep, and you take care of us. Consider becoming a GEM, a Give Every Month individual. That means that you would sign up a credit card. You can also hook it up to your bank account, your debit card, and you fix it and forget it. You make that pledge of support, and it's done. Every time you turn on the television or you log on to Passport, you know that has been taken care of. We love it because it's a steady stream of revenue for us to plan new shows, new special projects. 800-980-4788. Again, IdahoPublicTelevision.org. Boris?
Yeah, the next segment that's going to come up that you're going to see is on St. Gertrude's Monastery in Cottonwood, and Andy produced that, and it's a really, really good piece.
Yep, and lots of great content. Also, we've got a special thank you gift here for the $10 a month Give Every Month GEM level, $120 one time. If you haven't heard us talk about this is the Idaho Public Television branded Hydro Flask with the special Sunrise Blend coffee, which I guess this time of year, if you're taking it literally, you can't drink until about 8:30 since our days are so short. This is a special Dawson Taylor blend, and we would love to send that to you as a thank you gift. You do not have to take a thank you gift, but we would love to send it to you for you stepping up and supporting the show. Thank you to Edwards Greenhouse and Flower Shop for the wonderful greenery in the studios tonight. Thank you to the Boise State School of Public Service as well, and thank you at home.
And give us a call.
One of my favorite verses is from Romans 8. The earth is standing on tiptoe, awaiting for humankind to wake up. The earth needs us to wake up. And so we live with the land and we live with the earth and we respect it because this is very, very sacred ground.
For more than a century, the Sisters of the Center for Benedictine Life at the Monastery of St. Gertrude have lived a life that enriches a deeper faith.
There's a tremendous hunger for deeper spirituality, for God, for meaning, that traditional institutions don't seem to be able to satisfy the way they once did. That Benedictine life is something that is so needed in today's world.
The Monastery of St. Gertrude is Idaho's only women's monastery. Built over 100 years ago, its Romanesque features have provided sanctuary for an order of Benedictine nuns since their early days of settling on the Camas Prairie.
We are founded from the San Andreas cloister in Switzerland, and in 1882 there was all kinds of unrest in Switzerland.
So they decided to send 3 sisters to America to establish a safe refuge. Chosen to lead them was Sister Joanna Zoomstein. She spoke 4 languages, but not English. But they needed her brains and her facility for languages.
So they came by ship, they came by train. ended up over in Western Oregon originally.
They buy a beat-up butcher shop, the roof leaks, are sleeping on the floor, suffering from typhoid fever, and 2 years go by. They go to Uniontown, Washington. They build a convent there. There's a school on the main floor. They're living on the next 2 floors. More girls are joining. And in 10 years, it's too full. So they move 3 miles away to Colton, Washington, build St. Scholastica's Academy. In 10 years, it's too full.
And apparently a Catholic farmer offered the sisters land in Cottonwood, Idaho, if they would come and teach in local schools.
The real hook was that John and Gertrude Uhlenkott realized that the sisters provide the infrastructure of a place, the free labor, the free teaching. So they said, you know, if you come to Cottonwood, we'll give you 85 free acres.
So they did that. They came over here in 1907, and initially it was a white kind of, frame wood house.
And then Mother Johanna dies. So they sell the Colton convent and they all come to St. Gertrude's, which makes this too small. They meanwhile built the monastery that's here today, starting in 1919, finishing it in 1924.
And it was actually quarried from blue porphyry rock from up on our hill.
And it's pre-Jurassic in age. We realized that we have this vein that came out of Africa that popped up on our hill. And you're not going to find that anywhere else in the United States, which makes it even more unique here.
There wasn't much of it, which is why the 4th floor of the monastery is sited.
And it's this is a good German-Swiss thing, it's very stable and very well built, and it will last forever.
The monastery is named for St. Gertrude the Great, a 13th century German mystic. She's known for her deep spiritual insights and theological revelations. Like St. Gertrude, the sisters at the monastery are followers of the Order of St. Benedict.
The sense that there must be a deeper relationship with God, that's exactly what Benedict was about when he started, and I think that's exactly what he's about today.
In the 5th century, Benedict had been a hermit who was born of a Roman nobleman. For 3 years, he lived in a cave, or holy grotto, in the mountains of Subiaco. There, people who were drawn to his sanctity sought his guidance. He wrote The Rule of Benedict, a book describing a way of life that practices common sense, moderation, prayer, work, hospitality, and community life. And it's through their commitment to community that the sisters have made their greatest contribution to our state.
We staffed grade schools all over Idaho, Washington. The high school that's now the public high school next door was our academy.
They try to teach about tolerance, how immigrants have really changed this landscape.
I liked teaching junior English because it was American literature, and it gave me a chance to develop writing skills with the students. I loved seeing the lights come on when somebody got it. Also the relationship. That's kind of the fun part of still being in Idaho and being accessible to former students, that they stop in and say hi, and it's just fun to connect with them.
Education is very important here. Most of us have master's degrees plus, because to be qualified to do what we're doing is extremely important.
There isn't a hospital between Lewiston and Boise. It's a 300-mile healthcare desert. So they opened the hospital here at Cottonwood. And we're such a small town, but we've always had great services thanks to the sisters.
In reverence to the past, the Center for Benedictine Life is also home to a history museum, which was founded by Sister Alfreda as a result of providing an education to her students.
Sister Alfreda was a biology teacher, and she starts collecting things to teach her students. She's picking up roadkill and doing taxidermy with her students, collecting bugs and insects, and then just any artifacts. And in 1931, she has a pretty great museum in the attic of the first convent. And we've made a reproduction of that attic here with the things she collected in 1931. And my favorite is this gramophone. This museum is the oldest museum in Idaho, and we are telling stories rather than just showing artifacts. We have Lad Arnaudy, who the sisters sponsored. He was born in Hungary. He came from war-torn Germany with his family. He and his mother crossed Russian lines to escape Hungary as Russian troops advanced. And everything they owned is in the trunk we have on exhibit in the museum. In Thanksgiving, he painted a picture of the Virgin Mary that hangs in our chapel balcony. He becomes a photographer in Cottonwood for 40 years, and then he becomes our mayor. It's just nice to see who the personalities are and how much immigrants shaped this area.
To help maintain the costs of running the museum, visitors can purchase sustainable goods made by the sisters.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Here in the gift shop, Sister Carlotta, she is an herbalist. She makes soaps and salves, lip balms, teas. It's just such a joint effort here.
I do enjoy doing it, and when I'm doing it, I think about the people who are going to be using this soap, and depending on what soap they say they love, when I'm making that particular soap, I think of those people. It feels good to make it. I had this feeling that I wanted to help people, but I wanted to do it natural. And you know, when I came up here, this one sister, I was talking with her, and she was talking to me about the herbs, and who knew that a dandelion in your lawn is medicinal? It just amazed me that I could walk up the hill, or I can walk around and see something and like, okay, that's an herb, that heals. You know, most of the time we're trying to kill it, but it heals. That's when I decided to join this community, because they were a lot about the earth, and I love the earth, I love nature.
I always like to see nature as a carrier. Every leaf, every blade of grass has a spark of divine. And if people could just get outside and be more in touch with nature and ourselves, because I think we forget the fact that we are made out of dust, and to dust we shall return.
As Benedictines have done for centuries, the sisters evoke their faith through prayer, a daily practice that enlightens their experience of the Christian mystery.
Prayer is extremely important to us. And we pray for the nation, we pray for the people, we pray for the world. And every single day you can hear our petitions along with our prayer.
We come together 3 times a day, and it's a time to start over, to say, this is what we're here for.
Benedict calls this way of life the school of the Lord's service. We never have it all together. We're still learning. So I think living with a bunch of people is a constant learning process. It's not just, dance down Primrose Path, No, it's plain hard work, like marriages.
And, you do what community needs. So it's kind of a slow way of chipping away for all of us at, our self-centeredness, our egocentricity. And so the challenge is to be awake to that, to be aware, and the daily monastic life is an ongoing opportunity to do that. And that's an incredible gift.
My motto every day is I wake up and I look for love. And if I look for love, I'm going to find God. And I can find God in every human being, every blade of grass, every leaf, I can find God.
In celebration of that which is sacred, The Center for Benedictine Life on occasion hosts concerts in the chapel of the monastery.
The sisters, they nurture the whole human spirit. They love to, have things that build joy in your soul. And as Mozart said, music is for the glory of God.
Idaho Experience is made possible with funding from the James and Barbara Cimino Foundation, Ann Volokay and Louise Nelson, Judy and Steve Meyer, with additional support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and contributions to the Friends of Idaho Public Television. And viewers like you, thank you.
Oh, wow. Another wonderful program from Idaho Experience crew, Andy.
I love these local programs, and I know we got some more tonight too, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we really appreciate having you here with your students from the School of Public Service with Boise State University.
Absolutely.
They are in the
all
studio.
here to our right, and they are having a great time, and we're getting some phone calls right now at 800-980-4788. And I'll just say this. They represent the entire breadth of Idaho. We've got Coeur d'Alene represented,
Awesome.
We've got Boise, we got Nampa, we even have Preston, Idaho, and I understand that some of the 6,180 Prestonians are watching tonight.
They're all there. The Prestonians are watching. And we
Is that
also
right,
have
Prestonian? No,
folks
probably
who, you have some students who are from California and other states, and their families are able to watch on our YouTube channel, right?
Absolutely, they are. We've got San Diego, we've got Danville, we've got Seattle, we got all the western United States covered.
Well
it sounds
represented.
like. Yeah.
And those of you who have called in, thank you so much. This is a wonderful evening where we celebrate Idaho Public Television and our local production, quality, and just such talent. If you call in tonight and you are interested in receiving a thank you gift, we would love to say how much we appreciate you. We have, if you call in as a donor who gives one time, we have these incredible Idaho playing cards, and that is the title, Incredible Idaho Playing Cards.
I
They're
like
not
those.
incredible, yeah. So they are beautiful. They have some beautiful photos. And then we also have this Hydro Flask, and it's got a hot and cold lid, as well as this great package of freshly ground Dawson Taylor. I think these are the coffee beans, yeah. So this is a beautiful Hydro Flask, actually. I really like the color on that. And again, if you would like to make a donation to Idaho Public Television, we would love to say thank you. There you go, Vanna. Thank you very much. And we would love to say thank you for your donation to Idaho PTV. So let's also mention a couple of other things. One is that if you make a donation to Idaho Public Television, it may qualify for the Idaho Education Tax Credit. So please let your tax advisor know that when you make a donation. And as people are planning their year-end tax giving, this is a good time to pay
Well,
attention
it's
to
that
that.
time of year, isn't it already?
Yeah,
It came up
sure
pretty quick.
is.
Yeah.
So let's say a couple of thank yous, and we'll
Sure.
toss it over to the local production team to talk about.
I have a contribution from Bay Emelson. Thank you, Bay.
Thanks, Bay.
We really appreciate you. She says, I really appreciate the high quality news, art, and drama you provide.
Awesome.
So that's awesome.
And thank you to Franklin and Molly Marsh of Mountain Home. We appreciate it. And Amy Hoppick of Boise. Thank you so much for your donation. You can call in anytime and talk to these wonderful volunteers with the Boise State School of Public Service. We hope that you do as we get ready to talk to our local production team about the next upcoming show right here on Idaho PTV.
Thanks, you guys. On the other side of the studio here, Jeff Tucker, 1-800-980-4788. The students don't want to study. They want to answer phones. Please call 1-800-980-4788. I'm here with Susan Buxton, the director of Idaho Department of Parks and Rec, and a state agency director like I am.
That's right.
Yes, we have something in common. Melissa Davlin, who people know, you're sneaking around the corner there. Melissa produced one of the pieces and John Fosselman, who really kind of pushed this thing through the funnel along with Maya Long to get it. Well, yeah, it's always a fun process. You never know if it's really going to get done or not. We know it's going to get done. Everybody does a wonderful job. Now, before we go on here, this is a serious stuff. Over the year, like I was saying, we are state agency directors. The general fund helps us on certain sides, but the Corporation for Public Broadcasting was cut this year. That means a $2 million cut for us here at Idaho Public Television on the private side. What that means is $2 million. We need to make that up in this next year so we can continue bringing you great programs all year long. It's very important that we hear from you. It's very important that GEMS program you become a part of, because then we know that's ongoing money that can refill our cup. So give us a call right now. Now what I want to do is talk to, well, we'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. All right. What is coming up, and why is Susan here?
Yeah, we have a couple of segments coming up in the first block. One is Mackay, Idaho. We were up there filming. The high school has a fishery program that they put together that provides a lot of in-the-field training for the students up there. And it's volunteer run and driven. It's a really, really cool program. You can see right here on the screen, we were out there filming a few times this year with them. And the second bit, I believe while you're here, we covered Bruneau Dunes State Park. And I believe Melissa can talk more to that one.
Yeah, that's a project I inherited from Ruth Brown, producer Ruth Brown, who did such an amazing job with this show. And I was lucky enough to kind of inherit that and get it across the finish line for John. Bruneau has such an amazing program. They have 2 telescopes that the public can come out and see once a month or twice a month during the summer. And they can look through these telescopes and they can see the stars and galaxies, and there are volunteers there who tell them what they're seeing, why it's important. It's like nothing I've seen before in Idaho, and it's really neat. And Director Buxton, I know you and I have talked before about how much I personally, just citizen Melissa, I love state parks in Idaho. But from your perspective, we've talked about the volunteerism, we've talked about what it does for the citizens of Idaho. But why do you think the state parks are so important?
Well, Melissa, thank you, and thanks for all of you to come out to our state parks. We have amazing state parks, and you've picked just a few of our most fantastic ones, and they're all fantastic. But when you look at state parks, why are state parks important? Look what happened during COVID. We saw that people being outside was one of the most important things that they could do to feel connected with each other, to feel, for more wellness, and to really understand why Idaho is such an amazing state. All of our state parks have very unique qualities to them. Some of them have natural resources, like you're just talking about with Bruneau Dunes. It's the largest dune in North America. It also has lots of dark sky and lots of birds. And when I got there today, and you'll see the migratory birds out there in the lakes are great. But we also have lots of historic values to all of our state parks, cultural values. The Oregon Trail went through there too. So we also have lots of opportunities for volunteers. We have about 2,000 volunteers to help run our state parks. And like Jeff was talking about IPTV, we have the same issue where we have very little in general fund, and we have to work on dedicated funds. So our visitation or our passport is where we get the money to run these state parks. About little over 60,000 acres, 700 facilities, and thousands of campgrounds and cabins and all sorts of stuff. So come see the Bruneau Dunes. Come see the newest, one of the most powerful observatories that you'll be able to have the public access to. So I really had fun with you out there, and we actually went and slid on the dunes.
Back in April, sliding on the dunes, that maybe was one of my favorite Idaho Reports assignments that I've done in a long time.
Melissa was working.
It was for the people of Idaho that I did this for. So briefly, we touched on a few of the volunteer programs in this Outdoor Idaho episode, but if people are interested in volunteering, whether it's at one of these state parks or elsewhere, what should they do?
So again, we have about 2,000 volunteers a year in our state parks all year round, and that's about 75,000 to 85,000 hours that they volunteer to keep our state parks going. And what they do is we have a volunteer coordinator in the Boise office. Just call our office or get on the website, and we'd love to have any and all of you who want to come out and help us.
Wonderful.
It's a great opportunity.
Thank you for being here tonight. We're not done with it yet. This is Outdoor Idaho, doing good in the great outdoors, about how volunteering really keeps things going in this great state. And that's coming up right now on Idaho Public Television, 1-800-980-4788. Keep the students busy. They don't want to study. We want to thank Winco Foods for getting us some food for tonight. We appreciate it. All right, have a good time watching this next segment. We'll see you in a bit.
Without volunteers, the park wouldn't probably be open 7 days a week.
I mean, there wouldn't be an ITA without volunteers.
1, 2, 3.
The Idaho wilderness, Idaho's wild spaces would not be what it is without our volunteers.
Most important resources that they have are the people in the community. Every school needs a Mick Hoover. Every school needs a Bart Gammon.
As a volunteer, I don't really look at it as a job. Every opportunity I get to stop to talk to somebody to help them maybe have a better experience, and that's why I do it.
There's a huge value in not only the volunteers that are out doing the work, but then coming back and interacting in the community. And the more people you get out there caring for the land, protecting the land, the better it is for all of us.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore and Bettis family legacy of building the great state of Idaho, by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the Idaho Public Television Endowment.
Hey, I'm Trent Van Leuven, and we're at the Mackey FFA Fish Lab in the Mick Hoover Aquaculture Facility at Mackey High School. It's a culmination of the work that all the students had over this last 5-6 months working in the fish lab, replumbing things, raising the fish, feeding them, scrubbing the tanks. Aquaculture and rearing fish is a lot of work, and this is the reward, is being able to go out and take those fish out and put them into a creek and see those fish that they've been caring for out there. As teachers, we need to be able to create talent pipelines, and we can find students that have interests, and we can work with these students, and we can help them find their career aspirations and give them some hands-on experiences, but more importantly, find people that can also see their talent and be able to work with them. One of the great things that we got going on in this area is that the students can go work for the Fish and Game. They can go work at Riverence. We have so many students that work with the U.S. Forest Service, and I would have died to have had that job, right? To go backpacking and to survey lakes and take fish up to lakes and creeks and be able to do trail maintenance. But those are the opportunities that have. And, schools can do a lot of great things, but what they really need to think about is what are their local resources, and the most important resources that they have are the people in the community. Like Mick Hoover, who's been working for the program for years, and we've got Bart Gammon. And I kind of give them an idea of what we'd like to do, and they give us some ideas about what we can do, and we figure out a way to make it work. And that takes a lot of the legwork out of it, because, I still have to be in the classroom teaching.
It survived to what it is now, and now it's state of the art. A standalone building of actually a high school fish hatchery, going from egg incubation all the way up to what you see here today is stocking the fish. You get the response of the kids when they see something working, and you kind of get them hooked when you start feeding the fish. You see that feeding response, and the kids, it's kind of addictive. And then when they see them growing up and surviving, when they get to stock the fish, that is the reward at the end of all that work. And, well, you can see all the smiles here today.
Good job.
Things are a lot easier with the new lab and the facility and the way things are plumbed up. But I think back on one of the older moments in the old lab, and we'd have quite a few problems just because of the way things were plumbed and just the way it was designed. And I was out of town, and I got back into town, and I think it was about midnight. And I walked into the fish lab, and there was Mick Hoover hovering over a drain watching the water go down because he had noticed a problem. He's working on it, and there it is, midnight, right? Now, that's a story about volunteerism, right? At a moment's notice, Mick will drop everything, and he'll come and turn on the auxiliary water lines and turn on the oxygen and put the bubblers in there to keep the fish going. Every school needs a Mick Hoover. Every school needs a Bart Gamet.
When I was a little boy, I was riding in the hay truck up the Big Lost River Valley with my dad, and he told me about this really rare fish that only lived in the very highest parts of the mountains, and that fish was a golden trout. And I decided if I ever had a daughter, I would name her after the California golden trout. I did end up having a daughter, and my wife agreed to let us name her Callie after the California golden trout. And Callie's actually the student that stocked the very first golden trout in this stream. In the fall of 2014, she got some fish from the Mackey Idaho Department of Fish and Game hatchery, raised them over the winter at the school, and they needed a place to stock them in the spring. She worked with the Forest Service and Idaho Department of Fish and Game, and we identified Lower Cedar Creek as a place that they could be released. She started a golden trout fishery in a stream, first one in the state of Idaho, and she came back a couple years later and caught one of them, and it was the very first golden trout catch and release state record in the state of Idaho.
Dad always talks about when he helps with fishing, it makes the world a better place. And when I saw that young boy, how excited he was, I did feel like I was making the world a little bit of a better place for that boy, and so that was really special.
Some of the coolest experiences I had were fishing and hunting and backpacking on Idaho public lands with my dad and with my family and with my friends. And so one of the goals I have is to try and make those opportunities available to other people as well. And working with the students to develop this golden trout fishery has been one of the ways that I've done that. It's been a real honor, and I'm just so excited that we've been able to provide this opportunity to so many other anglers.
This program is unique in that it's creating a fishery that likely would not exist otherwise. So this stream did not have fish in it, and honestly, our hatchery systems are maxed out, and it's unlikely that we could have, as a Department of Fish and Game, taken on the role that Mackey High School Aquaculture Facility is doing by raising fish to the size needed to make it in this stream. We wouldn't have room for that. We wouldn't have the capacity to do that. And so through these collaborations, the volunteers, the assistants of the high school, and these organizations that make this whole thing possible is providing something that wouldn't be here on the landscape, this unique fishery.
Good job. Okay, what number can you read?
18. So 1 to 80.
Yep.
Clipped.
Good job. And then watch this. You can slide it right down like that.
I don't think you could do this anywhere or everywhere where this stream is not connected with the other waterways, and so it provides a perfect setting to introduce a species that's not native here, but is very valued and provides benefit to our public. And the community has this opportunity to get hands-on experience to provide some career training and experience, some vocational opportunities or options for students looking for what to do after high school. There's a private hatchery here in the Big Lost Valley, and the Department of Fish and Game has a Fish and Game hatchery as well. So it's a very realistic career option. If these kids learn that they enjoy it and they're good at it, they can go right into education and hopefully a career.
Okay, here we go. Can you tip it? Tip it. Perfect. Oh, good job. Nice job.
A number of years ago, we had the idea, we had a few fish left over, and I had a son at home that was 3 years old, and I thought, you know what? This is an opportunity for my kid to see what we get to do. And so we invited all the preschool age kids, and we've been doing it for off and on for 9-10 years now. And so it's been great because this is Kids Creek. This is where the kids in the town of Mackey get to come and fish, and they get to stock their own creek with some fish. What I love about it is my students, they've had the opportunity to release some fish, but now they're the teachers and they're helping these younger children be able to put some fish into Kids Creek, and that's great because they're the teachers, and I just get to sit back and listen to them go. So it's awesome.
We just got the fish. Look how many you got.
I got two.
Okay.
We're at Bruneau Dunes State Park right now, about 20 miles south of Mountain Home, not too far from Boise. My name is Greg Harmon, and I'm the astronomy ranger. The Boise Astronomical Society, they actually had the idea to get this all started. Back in 1998 is when this building that we're in right now was dedicated, and that's what started these programs down here.
This is a unique building. It was designed with the idea of this 25-inch obsession telescope. It's a 25-inch Newtonian, and when it's pointed at the zenith, that eyepiece is almost 10 feet off the ground. I was on the formation committee. We came up with the design, and then even a number of mass members helped with the construction of this building, and it was all donated labor. Not $1 taxpayer fund was used for this project.
When I first started back in 2009, I started as a volunteer. A few employees just can't manage that many people coming in. And so having the Boise Astronomical Society and other volunteers really helps to be able to, we can talk to everybody. People can, the lines aren't really long, and it's just more of a personal experience rather than just waiting in line.
I have not, but I'll come up your way and we can talk about it.
Does he mean first target, like finding something with a telescope? Yeah.
There's a couple of presentations that they give here, and as people then are waiting between presentations or just milling around out there, we have the scopes are pointing at different objects in the sky. Like this scope will be pointing at something, and we kind of coordinate among the volunteers that are out there to make sure that we got different things so people can go see the different things there are to see in the sky.
The iDastro program started earlier last year, and what it allows us to do is work with Boise State University, College of Western Idaho, College of Idaho, and College of Southern Idaho. So 4 colleges. And they have different projects that they're doing. It's all astronomy related, but a big part of what they're doing is they're helping us with our programming. And then the big advantage for them is they're able to then use the new observatory that was just put in 2023. That is a research grade facility, and so being able to give them access to that telescope, it's a really good collaboration.
We come down here in the summer on Friday and Saturday and help with Bruneau's public programs. So this includes looking through telescopes. So we have solar scopes set up and then smaller telescopes around the park. And we help people to find objects in the sky, to look at things that we think are interesting and that we think the public would like to see, and answer any astronomy questions that they have. With this collaboration between Bruneau Dunes State Park and the Southern Idaho colleges, because it's NSF funded, we send out students to do outreach, and then in return we get time on the telescope to do our research. So that means that we actually get to publish papers using the data that we get from these telescopes, which means that Idaho science in general gets to be, more put out there and on a larger scale. Students are getting experience, but also the park gets the volunteers, and it's just been great, very mutually beneficial.
Big part of what we're promoting is dark skies. When people come down, when they're talking to volunteers, when volunteers are showing them the night sky, giving what we call night sky tours or looking through the telescopes, people are realizing what we have as a natural resource and gives them a sense of ownership and wanting to protect our night skies. And it really connects people in creating those experiences that we have available at our state parks.
Oh my goodness, what another beautiful program from the folks at Outdoor Idaho.
That
This
was
is
wonderful.
So remarkable, and what a fun segment to be able to enjoy. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Johnson here with Scott Graff. Welcome to the team, Scott. We
Thank
are
you.
so pleased to have you on board.
Thank you very much.
And this is Decemberfest here on Idaho Public Television. It's the time of year we come to you and ask for your support of this wonderful local programming that you're enjoying tonight. And we have some great studio volunteers here in the house with the Boise State University School of Public Service. They are here joining us and taking calls of support.
And we would love to have your call of support next at 800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org. This is Decemberfest. It is our final night. If you're just getting a chance to tune in from anywhere around the state, I want to say a special hello to our friends in Mackay, the stars of our first segment, along with the Bruno folks as well. What wonderful photography in both of those segments. A $5 gem, give every month pledge, or $60 one time gets you this incredible Idaho playing card set, beautiful photography from all across the state. And then also our $120 level. Whoops, I guess we're going to do the $750 gem or the $90 one time. This is our Carhartt branded Outdoor Idaho stocking cap.
They're really nice stocking caps.
They're very
too.
nice,
Yeah,
very thick, very
nice.
warm. Again, $90 one
With the
time or
beanie.
$750 as a gem. And then here we go. This is our $120 one-time pledge, or $10 a give every month gem. This is our 20-ounce Idaho PTV branded flask, a hydro flask, hot or cold, and then the special Dawson Taylor Sunrise Blend coffee that is especially made for Idaho Public Television and our Idaho Public Television fans. 800-980-4788 or idahoptv.org.
And it's a wonderful opportunity for those of you who have called in to be a donor who gives every month. Thank you. For those of you who have already given and maybe are already signed up, if you'd like to call in and any of these gifts are of interest to you, or if you would like another gift in appreciation for your, every year our gems can call in and receive a thank you gift. So we would love to hear from you. Our goal for this 5 days of Decemberfest has been 100 new gems. You saw that number right there, 116 of you. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of this team that comes together and supports Idaho Public Television and public media and makes this programming accessible to everyone throughout the state and throughout the country. We're hearing from all over the country. Wow, okay, we are so close. So this is our last night of live festival and doing the live pledging. Our goal is 100,000. We are so close. If you call in this evening, you can help us achieve the goal that we have set for ourselves for this weekend to support the programming, to help fill in for some of the funding gaps that we are seeing, and it's all made possible because of you. So thank you all for calling in. Appreciate you very, very much. So the phones are kind of quiet. I think that usually Outdoor Idaho is, yep, there we go. Let's get these phones ringing. Let's call in. We'd love to read your name. And right now we have a very special guest in the studio who is an amazing fundraiser for us as well, Tina and Fred.
Thank you. It's kind of an throwing it over the shoulder kind of shot. I am Tina Wright. I'm here with the famous Fred Cho. I don't know if you made Idaho PTV famous or if we made you famous.
I think you guys made me famous.
It's just so nice to have you here. I mean, you've been coming for how many years?
I think 25 or 30 years.
25 or 30 years, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I tried to count it up one time, but I'm too old. I can't do math in my head anymore.
I never could, so there's that. Tell us a little bit about what you're painting. So you do these special paintings for us. This one's going to be available for a very lucky donor for about $1,000.
Yes,
and it's a special bat phone that you're going to be calling. But tell us a little bit about what is inspired for this painting.
This is standing on a high ridge looking off to Mount Borah. Looking at Mount Borah, I think it was from the east.
From
the
the
west.
east.
From the west.
From the west.
Yeah.
And this will be, you're going to finish it pretty much tonight,
I'll
so
finish
you
it.
can
Yeah,
watch
well,
as Fred is
I
doing the
cheat.
painting.
I go back in my studio and do a little
finish
fine
it up.
tuning.
Beautiful. And
you
you frame these as well, right?
Yes, and I don't scrimp on the framing. It's a museum quality frame I put on these.
Beautiful. I have.
There are two kinds of paintings: paintings that need a good frame, paintings that deserve a good frame. Most of mine need a good frame.
He undersells so well. Thank you so much, Fred. Looking forward to seeing how this is going to turn out. If you're interested in this, there's only one. Give us a call at the special BAT phone, 208-373-7246. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
Morgan, she's going to talk with Andy and our great phone group.
Thank you so much, Tina, and thank you, Fred, for being here. We can't wait to see how that painting progresses through the evening. So pleased to be here with Andy Giacomazzi from Boise State University. Tell us a little bit, how's it going over here?
It is going great, Morgan. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having us again this year. We so appreciate it. 800-980-4788 is the phone number, and we got a great group of School of Public Service students ready to take your phone calls on a Sunday night. They love it. Lots of phone activity right now. We wanted to highlight, if you're okay, just for a second, Caden Stone is one of our phone bank volunteers, a School of Public Service student right now. Yeah, and he's waving. You see him right there. This is his 4th appearance on Idaho Public Television. And Caden came to Boise State in 2022, and one of his professors, Dr. Michael Allen, said, watch this guy. And I said, okay, I'll watch this guy. And Caden has been phenomenal for 3.5 years. He's graduating this December, just in a couple of weeks, with a bachelor's degree in political science, and he's minoring in environmental studies as well. Has all kinds of leadership opportunities that he's taken advantage of, and he's already gotten 4 acceptances to law school right now, including some real big ones. And so we are really proud of Caden. He's going to be speaking at the Graduate Student Leaders ceremony here next week. And you know, these things are always bittersweet because we lose Caden, but he is going to go off and do great things, and I know he'll stay in touch. And we'll be calling him from the Boise State Alumni Association as well. Just want to let you know that. So.
Well, thank you, Caden, and thank you to all the students who are here tonight. And thank you to you who are calling in and donating. We are so happy to have your contributions, and we'd love to thank you. We've got some special names to read here.
We do. I want to thank Helen Lambert from Mountain Home. Thank you for your contribution to Idaho Public Television. Aspen DeWitt from Moscow, Idaho. Go Vandals. We love them up there. Thank you, Aspen. Jean McVeigh from Boise, Idaho says, thank you, Marcia Franklin, for being a unique and fantastic gift to Boise, and we all agree with that. Yes. And then Judy Van Komen from Nampa, Idaho, and she increased her giving as well.
Excellent.
So we're
Thank
really
you
happy
so
about
much.
that.
Yes, please call in if you are a GEM, a donor who gives every month. You can always add on a little bit more if that's comfortable for your budget, and we appreciate the support. We would like to thank Heather Gooch and James Loudon from Pocatello, Idaho. Patricia Davies from Ketchum. Patricia says, I love nature programs, happy to support, and it does feel good to support something that you really care about. Thank you to Claire Fitch in Idaho Falls, Idaho, obviously, and Karen Steenhoff in Murphy. Thank you so much, and we're ready to take your calls. And now let's hear from Jeff and some guests in the studio. Jeff.
All right. Thanks, you too. Andy, you lost your chance to talk about the amazing work of what the School for Public Service does. that will come out. I won't say anything about it. 1-800-980-4788 or go to idahoptv.org. I'm still here with Melissa and Susan. Now, Maya Long, and Bill Manny have joined us. They're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the show. Maya is the lead director for Outdoor Idaho, and she kind of pitched it and helped John kind of get it over the finish line. And what's Manny doing? Well, he'll talk. Yeah, right. Nah.
Just hanging out. Just hanging loose.
So the last segment, and there's 2 coming up in the end with Department of Parks and Rec. And it's so important to have the Department of Parks and Rec in Idaho. There's so many different things, and you need those volunteers. And really, it's part of that America 250. That's one of the basic values is volunteerism. And so I find it amazing that you can source that many people from around the state. But what a fun job, and what an important job.
It's a great job. For me, I have a great job. Thank you, Jeff. But I want everyone to understand that we have great volunteers from all over the country, and people have the ability to kind of do whatever they'd like to do. We have opportunities for people to be docents. If you're into history, you can be a docent from Harriman, the Harriman Railroad Ranch over there by Yellowstone. It's one of our gems right there on Henry's Fork. Also, you could be a docent at Old Mission. Hopefully you saw that on the earlier show. You could be a docent at the Brig at Farragut. You could also do that at at Bay Horse. Bay Horse is up at Atlanta Yankee Fork. We have lots of opportunities for those types of things. Anybody who likes to work on old buildings, we love to have anybody who can do any maintenance and learns how to put a window in an old building, especially some that are a couple hundred, because some of them are over 100 years old.
That's a call out for some help.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Director Buxton, we had mentioned this before, but if people are interested in volunteering, no matter where you are in the state, and there are state parks in every corner of Idaho, that's one of my favorite things about the state park system, but they can contact the main office in Boise. That information is on the website, right?
That's correct. We have a volunteer coordinator. Her name is Trish Lamb, and please call her at our office in Boise or get on the website and you can get a hold of her that way too.
Great.
And I've been fortunate enough to interview you before for Idaho Reports about the importance of the park system and all the hard work that you've done to make sure that the programs also align with the budget, right? And that's a difficult thing. And I have to put in a plug real quick for Idaho Reports while I'm here. We are starting our new season January 8th. We are moving to Thursday nights after years and years on Friday nights. We are going to be Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. So that's January 8th, and I would love to have you back on again to talk about all of the wonderful things that parks are doing.
I loved it, and we got to go out to the park to do it instead of in the studio. That was even more fun. So thank you. We'll do that again.
Thank you, please.
Now, two more folks in the studio here, Maya and Bill.
We thought Melissa had commandeered the whole show for Idaho Reports. So good thing you finally got back to outdoor Idaho.
I tried. Yeah. You know what? Not enough people talk about outdoor Idaho.
Take it away on that end of the world.
So Maya, what are we about to see, Maya?
Yeah, we're about to see. Bill and I went into the Frank Church Wilderness of No Return. We did return, though. And it was with Idaho Trails Association. And yeah, we had a great time with them. We saw them sawing and working on trails. And then we also went to Pocatello to spend some time with some master naturalists. And they were doing some seed collection.
And wildlife restoration work for the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. So really inspiring stories about volunteers from around the state. You know, we went from Priest Lake all the way down to McCammon and Pocatello. And so we've been around the state for the show. We're really proud of it. And we're just happy to be able to share it.
Yep, It's wonderful. So we're going to go into the second segment of Outdoor Idaho, doing good in the great outdoors. I'd like to thank Linda Butler from Garden City. Thank you so much, Linda. And I'd also like to thank Dawson Taylor for keeping us caffeinated, some of us too much. 1-800-980-4788 or IdahoPTV.org. Want to hear from you.
Most of my friends aren't outdoor folks, so they think I'm crazy for doing this stuff.
There's a geometry to it, there's a way to cut it in an appropriate way, there's ways to do it safe, and so part of it, there's a little puzzle to try to figure out, and I love that part of it too, is just figuring out the puzzle.
First you have to evaluate to see, try to see what the log is going to do and clear out around it and figure out where you want to cut where there's not branches and stuff sticking in the way.
1, 2, 3.
Then we had to move the log out off the trail. So the easiest way to do that is everybody sit on their butt and push with their legs because that's your strongest muscles.
2, 3, push.
I know it's amazing how big a log you can move when you're using your legs.
Yeah, we had a lot of butt power in that one today.
There's just a bond that starts to happen just by doing things, and especially physical things like the saws or talking up through a problem. How are you going to cut this? Or picking up a log and throwing it or moving it or pushing it with your feet. And then you start hiking and all of a sudden you start talking and you start to learn a lot about people. and then you come back to camp and everybody's a little silly, and it's just fun.
I enjoy being out in the wilderness. I'm seeing places that I've never seen before. And the people that I meet on these, it's like we're all like-minded people. We have the same purpose. We have the same goals. So everybody gets along. It's really a bonding experience with everybody.
I'm out here at White Goat Lake in the Frank Church River No Return Wilderness. I'm here with the Idaho Trails Association. We're on a 7-day trip working on trails, cutting down logs across the trail and doing other trail maintenance kind of stuff. This is a great way to meet new people. So I tell my friends, you know, if you're looking for something to do and meet new people and get some exercise and get into the backcountry and see new places, this is a great thing to do.
You get folks who've never worked a Pulaski, never worked a Picmatics, never worked a crosscut. They catch it. They figure it out. They want to get stuff done. So we're out here for the experience and we're out here for the work. And it's magic. We're all over the state, and as a volunteer group, we're bringing people into the public lands. We are bringing people out to do incredibly great work, and we're exposing people to this great place. Wildlife can get around on game trails, but people really need a good trail. We're sustaining this trail network, and it's slipping away. We're losing it, but we're helping sustain, we're helping the Forest Service, the BLM, the National Park Service, sustain this wonderful resource that allows people to get out in these really wild places, these places that, you know, you really can't get there without a trail. These trails were put in 100 years ago. They were put in with the same tools, the crosscut saw, the axe, horses, mules, backs, strong backs. We're connected multi-generations going back with the people who put together this whole incredible trail resource. And it's an amazing resource that we want to help sustain and we want to help people appreciate.
Sometimes those tools are pretty heavy to carry for the day. They get pretty heavy coming back. You definitely are glad to set them down at the end of the day. We've got silkies, which are hand saws. We've got shorter hand saws like this. We've got loppers, some smaller loppers, some bigger loppers. We've got, of course, the crosscut saws, which are a little hard to carry, just awkward. Also, we have Pulaskis. A Pulaski has an axe on one end and a digging tool on the other. So you can dig with it, and then you could also use the other side as an axe.
I mean, the crosscut is a really fine tool, and 2 people are required to do it. It's a 2-handled saw, and that's where you can really get good work done. And they got to talk to each other, and they got to be paying attention to each other and the log and themselves.
What I really like is with the teamwork, we're just in there, we're doing it together, we're all doing the best we can, and the results are always the same. It's like you're done, and you cut it, and you feel very satisfied.
This year we did 98 projects. We had 400 miles of trail. We had over 900 volunteer spots filled. We had over 16,000 volunteer hours. I think almost 6,000 logs cut. Take that back 15 years, it's thousands of people and thousands of miles of trail. So many volunteer hours. That's pretty incredible. I mean, there wouldn't be an ITA without volunteers. We have 4 full-time staff. We can only cut so many trees between the 4 of us, and so if we didn't have volunteers, we wouldn't exist.
The importance of volunteers, I mean, they can't be understated. The agency relies very heavily on volunteers. You know, the Forest Service has been generally underfunded in recreation and trails. And then you have groups like the Idaho Trail Association. You know, you have folks like the Continental Divide Trail Coalition and some of those groups. They do incredible work.
We're cutting out logs, we're digging tread, we're doing real work. But as an organization, we're also advocating for trails. We're advocating for public lands. We're advocating for the wilderness. We have to push the people who make decisions to try to see that there's the community support, there's the citizens support, there's the political support for trails, for public lands, for wilderness.
The White Goat Project, we had pack support, so people with mules and horses to carry in and out the gear for the crew and all the food. So that's a much easier ask for a volunteer. So you weren't necessarily beholden to just freeze-dried food the whole time. You could have some luxuries, which sometimes luxuries is just cheese and a bigger sleeping bag, but those make a huge difference when you're out there for a week. We've got trips where we'll take a tiny backcountry airplane, a little Cessna, and we'll fly people into the backcountry airstrips, drop them off for a week. We've got projects where we'll jet boat up, like a lot in Hell's Canyon. We've got projects where we'll set you up with a full kitchen and all the food provided, and we'll send a cook in to cook for you. And then some are just good old-fashioned, like you're carrying all your stuff and you're backpacking yourself in and out, and those are fun too. Whatever we can do to make it fun and accessible and productive, we'll do it.
We're really lucky this time of year to be able to have a fire. It's definitely made it a lot more comfortable and given us a place to really gather as a group. We got the tarp set up first thing when we got here because we knew we were going to have rain. And thank goodness that we got that tarp, but because it rained like crazy the first night we were here. And it looks right over to the lake, and we've been watching the rain go across the lake and the winds come through, and then it calms down, and the lake is just gorgeous, and the reflections of the mountains on the lake has just been amazing.
Work is why we're out here, but what we're doing is we're being in the wilderness, we're gonna experience trails, we're gonna learn about how to work together.
The first thing you do when you get together as a crew is you circle up and you go over safety and debrief all the tools and the different rules and stuff like that. But then every morning, a lot of crew leaders will group people up to stretch and talk about the plan for the day. Getting feedback from everyone on how they're feeling and maybe what are we going to do tomorrow, and starting to plan ahead. So a lot of crews start with a big circle in the morning. The number one reason people say that they enjoyed it was the camaraderie, the great crew, the laughs, the teamwork, meeting like-minded people. And then, I've heard of different people meeting new friends through ITA, and some people will all sign up together. They want to do a trip again.
It's a lot of fun. There's a great crew that we have. It's just a good way to get stuff done, and you meet some wonderful people out here.
You're probably going to want to be collecting 3 or 4 species, so I've got bags over here for you. Let's go look at some native plants up on the hill. I picked out a little walk where we'll see many of our common natives. So follow me over here, please. Every walk in the wild is an adventure. It's like a treasure hunt. You just never know what you're going to stumble upon, and you have a bunch of bags with you. You can just stop and harvest as you come along the way, and you come home with a treasure. Today we're going to be harvesting the native seeds for restoration projects. We're going to focus on seeds that help stabilize the soil and create a platform for development of a native plant community. But we're going to collect forbs, we're going to collect trees, we're going to collect shrubbery, get a wide diversity of plants. Right now there's an abundance of rubber rabbit brush, of green rabbit brush. The hawthorn that you see right here is ready for harvest. We're going to see blue flax up the way, snakeweed, a lot of the things that we think are quite beautiful on the landscape. We collect the seeds.
Rhopalamidia. Dude, those are cool looking. Something that I've learned gradually about what to collect, how to collect it, what time to collect it, depending on the maturity of the plant. So we'll actually be doing some seed collection, and we're creating a seed bank. We've also planted a lot of the seeds that we've collected out at Aberdeen at the plant facility out here. And it's really neat to see what we planted has grown. And then we're able to go out and actually put that out at the various places that we're working on.
We are lucky enough that within our group of Idaho Master Naturalists, all we had to do is we merely had to say, you know what would be really cool is a native seed repository, and it happened. They organized the effort, they found the smaller group that goes out, they collect seed, they raise it at a greenhouse facility, they sort all the seedlings, they pot, and then they put everything out on the hill. So they are seeing some of these plants that go out from start to finish.
Yeah! Everything else is gravy today.
Today we're out at the Sterling Wildlife Management Area, which is northeast of Aberdeen, Idaho. And today we're out on a big volunteer project helping my program do some wetland and marshland restoration work, mainly focusing on cottonwoods. We have been busy the past couple years removing invasive species such as Russian olives, and we're wanting to replace that tree with something that's the most kind of more beneficial for wildlife. We actually go out in the winter and cut branches from local trees. We use volunteers to then repot those branches at a volunteer nursery, and we grow them out all year, and then now it's the fall and perfect conditions to get them planted. We're also looking at a lot of our native forbs, so our wildflowers, native shrubs, grasses, and stuff like that. So we're looking at the ecosystem as a whole and what is going to be best for different wildlife species at different times of the year. It's myself and one other biologist full-time, and we have some seasonal technicians, but that's it. And our area of work is about 5.5 million acres. And so having volunteers enables us to get some meaningful work done on the ground every year. This just wouldn't happen without this group of folks. So we're extremely appreciative, and that's why I always make sure to feed them well.
No, it's not glamorous, but it's fun. It's just fun being with like-minded people, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful group of people to spend time with and hopefully make a difference.
One of the wonderful things about this program is that you do get to participate in the full cycle. It was a really rainy day in March when a group of us all gathered at Joe Foster's property, and we just took cuttings of cottonwoods, dipped them in root starter, and then put them in a pot. And he starts them in the greenhouse for us, and he moves them outdoors. And then we get to move all these trees to our wildlife management areas in southeastern Idaho.
We're at my home outside of McCammon, Idaho, and we've been looking at some of the tree projects and habitat restoration work that kind of starts here with beginning of the trees that go out onto different wildlife management areas and public, private, state, a lot of different areas end up using trees that grow out of here. We're sitting in a 30 by 50 greenhouse that is kind of an experiment. We built a pond in the middle of it. The pond goes 3 feet down and 3 feet up. Ends up as kind of a heat sink to keep the greenhouse temperature and humidity regulated. There's 2 sturgeon in here.
It's where the magic happens. He has been donating the use of this greenhouse for several years now. It's his personal greenhouse. He is the one who put this up. He loans the space. He tends to everything that he grows in here every single day. It's a much bigger operation, and he's doing it all for us, and we're very appreciative of him.
This year our focus was on cottonwoods, but every year we will do whatever we come up with. We do numerous different kinds of trees. Cottonwoods are the preferred roosting tree for wild turkeys, so a lot of them are going in there. Also good for beavers and a lot of other animals. But we do Burr-Gamble oak trees, ponderosa pines, junipers, different types of shrubs, pollinators, all sorts of different plants. I certainly don't do it for fame and fortune. I just do it because I like to do it. I get a kick out of it. Over the last 10 years, 1,000 a year coming out of these different projects of all different kinds of trees for all different types of habitat conservation groups. That's a pretty cool thing. Berg ample oak trees are going to be around 300 years from now. That's pretty neat.
We live in a big world and there's a lot of issues in our world, but I know that the work I do here with the Idaho Master Naturalist affects my community and the things that I care about. I care about our wildlife and our habitat. And I know that every single project I work with here is actually making an impact. My time is really worthwhile.
This is a willow herb of some kind. And the way they open up, you see how
It's a real sense of community. Everyone that's a part of the Idaho Master Naturalists, they're all involved for the exact same reason. They want to make improvements to our local area and to our habitat. And so you're just really with like-minded people. But also, if you don't know a lot about birds, you're going to find someone that knows a lot about birds. If you don't know a lot about plants, you're going to learn about plants. You're going to learn about beavers. You're going to talk with a herpetologist and learn about amphibians and reptiles. And the next thing you know, you're going to be at City of Rock looking for skinks. I mean, just out of the world things that, you know, I didn't even know I had an interest in. It's just sparked so much for me.
I have the best tribe of people here in Southeast Idaho, and we've got folks anywhere from students in high school, college, professionals who are still working, a lot of educators, and retired folks from all walks of life. You're enjoying a green belt, or you're enjoying a cross-country trail, or you're a bird watcher, or you love to fly fish, or literally anything. A volunteer is involved. They're the wizard behind the curtain. No matter what you're doing, if you're enjoying conservation in Idaho, you have volunteers to thank for that.
There's a huge value in not only the volunteers that are out doing the work, but then coming back and interacting in the community and sort of sharing that fire, sharing that passion, the love of the outdoors, and that, I guess that volunteerism can be contagious. And so it can spread like wildfire, and the more people you get out there caring for the land, protecting the land, the better it is for all of us.
I didn't realize that there were that many people around that had that same kind of passion. So it's very empowering and it's very encouraging because you know that you can make a change. You know, you're getting in the dirt, you're getting dirty, and everybody's happy because they're doing something. They know they're making a difference. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I will have to say that. As old as I am, as many years I've put on the earth, I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me because of the people.
You've got all these different user groups that don't necessarily interact. The reason why I think these projects bring people together is because of a shared love of the outdoors, a shared love of public lands, and a shared love of recreation.
Backcountry hunters and anglers really appreciates your effort of being out here, so thank you all. So what we're going to be doing today is hiking fence line, and that's
the Armed Forces Initiative portion of that is BHA's project to get veterans, military affiliated, active duty involved in the outdoors in a way that they're not always focused on.
You first record what type of fence it is, barbed wire, sheep fence, smooth wire, or other.
Today we're doing a project in the Boise River WMA where we're looking at fence lines to try to figure out what fence needs replaced, what fence needs repaired. Down fences are a big problem for wildlife because this is a major wildlife corridor throughout the Boise foothills. Deer don't see them, elk don't see them, they get wrapped around them, they get caught and die. So our goal here is to identify what fences are problems, either fix them, remove them, and try and make this a better habitat for wildlife.
I'm a scientist in the environmental realm, and right now, management of our lands and our waters and our critters, we're at a point now where we are, in my mind, data limited. And when you have a lot of multi-use management, the more tools we have, the more information and data we have, the better we're going to do. I'm also a trail runner, an avid trail runner, and I mean, there are hundreds of miles of trails that go through private lands here around Boise. I love the fact that these private landowners are taking and providing us a resource. So in my way, I feel this is one way, as a volunteer, we can help give back to those private landowners and say, we actually do value what you're doing. I've been in the Air Force since 1994, done multiple deployments, and been all over the world, mostly with the Air Force. It's a great opportunity to see it do new things, but also I think for some people there is this loss of connection over time. I think a lot of folks have been trying to push veterans into go outside and force that reconnection.
It's a hard transition to go from military life and integrate back into a civilian world in a way. Completely different way of life, just everything is so different. And then I think the outdoors, it provides a little bit of that peace and a little bit of that calm that just helps with the transition to be able to go out and to be active in the community and to volunteer and just being outdoors in general.
And Outdoor Idaho continues. Good evening from Studio A at Idaho Public Television. We are on the final night of Decemberfest here on Idaho Public Television. We are raising dollars to pay for shows like the Outdoor Idaho that you are watching right now. We've got one more segment to go. It contains 2 stories from across our state, and we are thrilled to be telling you this story tonight, all of these stories. We've got volunteers here in the studio from Boise State School of Public Service. We've got the Outdoor Idaho team here. We've got Susan Buxton, the director of Idaho Parks and Rec. And we got you at home tonight, and we hope that you will join us on the phone or pledge online, idahoptv.org, 800-980-4788. I'm Scott Graff with Tina Wright.
Thank you so much, Scott. You know, we thank you for joining in. I hope that you're enjoying this program. Please do give us a call. This is the time of year we come to you just a few times a year to ask for your support. As you know, we have some challenges and had this last fall with our funding. So we are very, very grateful for every donation that you call in to give us tonight. So please do. The students are giving up their night to study for finals to take your call, so please do give us a call at 1-800-980-4788. You can see some great thank you gifts up on the screen. We have an Outdoor Idaho beanie. That's a Carhartt branded beanie, so a lot of people love those. Jennifer calls it a stocking cap, but I think that was from the younger years. There it is. Maya is modeling our beanie. So if you, there's only a few of these. So if you want to be one of the rare donors and supporters that has one of these, please do give us a call. And again, we have our wonderful Hydro Flask. It's a hot and cold Hydro Flask, and it also has a lid for being a thermos. So it's multitasking Hydro Flask. That's a mouthful. And our delicious Sunrise Blend, roasted especially for us from Dawson Taylor Coffee Roasters. And then we also have a set of incredible Idaho playing cards, which we were playing earlier, right here, with beautiful photos of Idaho on it. What a nice gift. That'd be a great stocking stuffer. You would be supporting us, and you would also be giving a great stocking stuffer to one of your loved ones. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Give us a call, 1-800-980-4788. And now I'm going to throw it over to my colleague Morgan with a very special guest.
Oh, thanks, Tina. It is my great privilege to stand here with beloved Idaho artist Fred Choate, who's been working hard in the studio on a custom painting that started from canvas just minutes ago.
Bare canvas just a few minutes ago, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Fred, what can you tell us about this painting?
Well, I'm getting through the high anxiety stage right now. I can see my way to the destination now.
Yeah.
It's my method of painting, I stumble over my tongue here, My method of painting is I block in from front to back, and then to get the sense of depth, then I finish the picture going back to front.
Well,
So I get good atmosphere.
it's looking amazing, and I can't
Well,
wait to
thank
see
you.
how it develops.
Well,
And
I can't wait to see it either.
And where is this image of?
This is Mount Bora.
Mount Bora. Oh, this is so fantastic.
And even now this area right here, I've got to do a little special. This is Chicken Out Ridge right here.
Ooh, Chicken Out Ridge.
Now I've never been on Chicken Out Ridge, but I have friends who have.
Yes.
So,
Well, Mount Bora could be part of your home by calling today. The special phone number to call for this painting is 208-373-7246. Call now so that we can make sure to put your name specially reserved on this Fred Choate original painting. There's only one, and we'd love to see that go to you. This is a special Mount Bora piece. And we'd love to check in with our guests, including someone that I think has been to Mount Bora at least once, our friends. Sorry, we're going to Jen. Jen, have you been to Mount Bora?
Never been to Mount Bora. Only through Outdoor Idaho have I been to Mount Bora. How about you?
Same.
Yep. We've been to Mount Bora vicariously through Outdoor Idaho, like many of you as well. I'm here with Angie Boss here with the Boise State School for Public Service, and we have been having a fun time tonight. And
So much fun.
Yeah,
So
talking
glad to
about
be here.
the wonderful programming and everything. Shall we jump in and thank some of our donors who've called in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're thanking Deborah Norvich in Boise, Idaho. John McDade, also Boise.
Thank you, John.
Laura Senderowicz, also in
good job.
Boise. We
Thank
have a
you.
lot of Boise going here. We want to thank Stephen and Teresa Lippis in Boise, who love Outdoor Idaho and many other programs.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Next, we want to thank Mary Morris in Nampa, Idaho.
She says, I really appreciate the programming. Oops, sorry.
It's okay. Awesome. Next up, we want to shout out to Mary Michael Rogers.
Oh, Mary Michael, thank you. I know
Also
her.
in Boise. Thank you, Idaho Public Television, Love Public TV. And a special shout out also in Boise to Lorna Hammond for
Thank
a
you
really great gift.
So much. Thank you so much. We have exciting programming, and being able to connect the whole state and the whole country this way is just a really fun way to be able to support Idaho PTV. And you can join this Idaho Public Television family as well by calling that number on the screen.
Please do it. 1-800-980-4788.
Thank you so much. Let's go and talk to the Outdoor Idaho crew and special guest right now.
All right, thanks a lot. Great local productions here tonight. 1-800-980-4788 is the number to call. Keep the students busy, but really we need to hear from you. Your gem, being a gem, is so important for us right now at this point in time. So, what a wonderful show. Volunteerism in Idaho. And I heard coming out of this last piece that you were a little cold, so you could have used that hat. Maya?
I really could have. The first night of the trip with the Idaho Trails Association, it was quite cold, quite rainy. So yeah, this hat would have really helped maybe keep me a little bit warm.
So what do we want them to do? Call in at $60 pledge of support as a gem membership. $7.50 for the hat?
$7.50 a month. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, $7.50 every month. That's pretty easy to do. Call in tonight. Become a gem at any level. You don't have to take a gift, but this hat would love to come home with you. Not Maya, just the hat.
No.
It's extra to get Maya.
It's extra to get Maya. Okay.
Easy payment program.
Yeah.
So, wonderful show. Tell us a little bit about what we came out of.
Yeah. It was just Idaho Trails Association, which was a great time in the woods. Really great people. Really cold, chilly, and then in Pocatello with the Master Naturalist, it was so lovely to meet those folks and see what they were doing with their seed collection and learn a couple of new words. By words, I mean like plants. So that was just fun to be around some biologists and get to know that. And then
While we were watching, Susan was talking about the work the Parks Department does with the Idaho Trails Association. So we thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
So
Idaho Trails Association does some amazing volunteer work. They work on a lot of trails across the state, and we do have some grants that we help them with, and just so proud to be able to have them doing what they do in Idaho and help them as much as we can. So I'm glad you got to go out with them. What a great group.
And do know that the grabbing the mic, live TV, it's always good. The phones are getting busy. I see a few on there, but we do need to hear from you tonight. This is our last day of Decemberfest, coming up to the end of the year. We want to make sure that we hear from you tonight from all over the state. You know, the private donations do make up most of our budget, and the private donations are really what creates the content that you're seeing, whether it's local content that we produce, our great production folk, or our education work in the field. It's all done because of you. That little hiccup we had with the Corporation for Public Broadcasting cost us about $2.2 million this year, and we're going to have to make that up, not just with you. That would be very, very hard, but we're going to have to make some cuts, and we're going to have to be a little bit smaller in the coming year. So we can become less small in the coming year with your support.
Jeff, can I just shout out your team and how you guys show everybody how great our Idaho outdoors are and our parks, and I can't thank you all enough. So please support IPTV.
And really quick, what's coming up?
So John is going to take us to the Land of the Yankee Fork, which is another state park, so maybe he can tell us briefly about that.
Yeah, actually we did two. We were up at Priest Lake and Land of the Yankee Fork State Park. Priest Lake, you can see Sherry here and her husband John, a couple of volunteers up that way, helping to keep the park going. Also Paula here, who can run so many different sorts of machinery out that way. Great. Paula is great. She was such a wonderful person. And then later on we went to Land of the Yankee Fork State Park, Bay Horse Ghost Town, and the Chalice Hot Springs up that way, which I believe you said you knew something about that.
So a big shout out. I just heard Lorna Hammond gave a donation. Thank you, Lorna. But Lorna Hammond's family, the Hammond family, owned Chalice Hot Springs. It has been their family almost 100 years. And because of the generosity of she and her family, the state of Idaho was able to get the ownership of that to preserve it for public access and public use. In perpetuity.
And it is a wonderful place, for sure.
Shout out to Lorna.
So we're going to get back into the third segment of Outdoor Idaho, doing good in the great outdoors. We would like to thank Edwards Greenhouse. Thank you so much, Edwards, for the plants, beautiful red in the studio. We're going to be back here in just a bit. Enjoy this next segment.
We camp at a state park in Arizona, Parker, Arizona, on the Colorado River, and John was picking up garbage, and one of the hosts came out and said, "Are you the new host?" John goes, "No." He goes, "What are you picking up garbage for?" John goes, "I pick up garbage everywhere I go." And he goes, "You need to go to Priest Lake, Idaho." And okay. So 3 years go by and John had retired, and he said, "I'm not staying another summer in Arizona. I don't have to. Contact Priest Lake, Idaho, and see what we have to do to get to come up there." I made a phone call, and that's how we got up here.
So I met John and Sherry, we're talking maybe 5 years ago, and they said they wanted to try volunteer hosting. And little did we know, not only have they come back year after year after year, but we're family, we're friends. They mean a lot to the park. There are visitors who come back hoping John and Sherry will be back. They clean their own bathrooms. So we have like 5 bathrooms at Indian Creek. White Pine is where John and Sherry are based. There's 51 campsites there, water and power sites, their own restroom, shower building, and they like to take that on themselves. Cleaning! And they take pride in it. In fact, there's people who come to us and saying, it's like they go in there, every time somebody leaves, they're in there cleaning it to make it look so nice. So yeah, besides that, returning people look forward to seeing John and Sherry. They handle people with kit gloves, but they can also bring the hammer down when needed. And when I mean that, they do it in a very nice way, treating people like family. However, when the rules are being broken blatantly, Sherry goes in and the people are like, oh, here comes Sherry. We promise we won't do this again. Yeah. Plus their skills, John's maintenance skills, Sherry's people skills, they're just a great duo.
You just always feel like you are important to them. And that's important to us. Because we have worked at parks before that they didn't care. They didn't care that you were here. They didn't care if you thought maybe something should be fixed. Up here, you suggest something and they don't look at you like you have no business saying anything. You're included. You feel like you're included up here.
We start at 7 a.m. We could start later, but we start at 7 a.m. We clean one set of bathrooms, which we're not required to. Maintenance cleans those, but we take over because maintenance is shorthands. After the bathrooms, we do a walkabout, drive around, compliance to make sure everybody's registered.
See the orange tags? They have to have an orange tag. So that's all we're going to do right now.
After that, we have a lull. Got some time to do whatever you want to do. Then it starts to pick up around 10 or 11 o'clock. People are leaving. We clean the campsites, make sure everything's ready to go for the next campers.
We also, sometimes people have never camped before, and you have to explain to them why they can't do whatever they're doing. And usually you get a compliance. You know, they'll understand when somebody tells them that you can't have a fire up to your waist, you know, and this is why. You can't even have propane fires up here because then the kids put sticks in them and then they do them like sparklers and blow. But some people have never camped. They don't know how. You know, don't know how to put a tent up. You know, stuff like that. And you get to help them. You get to teach them the right way to camp.
So Paula is that person who fits any mold. She can fit in any position that you need. So we're talking maybe a decade ago, we were short on permanent staff. Paula filled in as a volunteer ranger. So she was doing ranger duties. She was doing the maintenance. She was doing the PR. She did minor enforcement. Paula can run a chainsaw. Paula can run equipment. Paula knows how to talk to people. Paula can do plumbing. Her previous life, she worked for the power company. So she's used to being around equipment and working hard. And there's times she fills the job of 3 people. And we do have to say, hey, Paula, the sun's going down. Let's go enjoy ourselves. Let's go, let's go back to the campsite. Let's go to a fire ring. Let's go down to the beach. But yeah, Paula ensures that the park, she wants to look like possibly her backyard. So if there's trash and she sees it, she'll pick it up. If people are doing things wrong, she'll let them know, you know, if you do that, it's not enjoyable for other people. She's a person that if she wasn't here, I don't think the park would actually run as smooth. I don't.
Try to keep the park looking nice, picking up trash, picking up branches, helping chop wood, helping bag ice, helping bag wood, helping keep the beach clean, the trails clean.
So Paula is kind of like she's a cross between a drill sergeant and a kindergarten teacher. Paula sometimes is the first one at the shop with her family, and she's usually the last one to leave. They come in the spring to get the campgrounds ready. They stay in the fall to close the campgrounds, turn off the water, get the buildings closed up. They come in the winter time to make sure winter projects, signs being painted, firewood being cut and split and stacked. She helps getting things ready for the future volunteers to come. She pretty much knows this park inside and out, and her family treats it like it's their place. You know, so a lot of respect from all of our volunteers.
There should probably be more Paulas in state parks. She's a hard worker. And she's fun.
Well, since we have a year-round park, we are very reliant on volunteers. We have 7 full-time staff. We employ 15 part-time seasonals, and we have 30 volunteers. So they do jobs from camp hosting, they run our entrance booth, they work in the store, they do maintenance. We couldn't keep the standards of the park up to what people are used to if we had no volunteers. The park wouldn't be open 7 days a week. It wouldn't be open around the clock. Facilities wouldn't look the way they do. The grounds wouldn't look the way they do. The public wouldn't feel as appreciated as they are. They are our eyes and ears. So when we're not on duty, if there's an issue, they live right in the campground and they can get access to us. So we're talking, they're the lifeline.
Well, welcome to the land of the Yankee Fork State Park. My name's Ken Mason Smalley, and this is my home. Come on in. So my interpretive tour starts usually outside right here, where I talk about why that building looks the way it does. And a lot of times when we're doing this in May and early June, it's elementary schools and middle schools from around the region. And I ask, why does it look so funny? And I get all kinds of things like chicken coop and stuff like that, but it's actually to resemble a stamp mill. And later today, we'll be up to Bay Horse and you'll see what an actual stamp mill looks like. But this is a pretty good rendition of kind of what one would look like. So come on. So the design of the Interpretive Center here at the land of the Yankee Fork State Park is to resemble a stamp mill. You see these massive glue lamps that are on this angle, and that would kind of represent how a stamp mill is situated on the side of a hill to take advantage of gravity during the stamping and the reduction from an ore size rock down to a hard coarse sand.
They play a very vital and valuable component to the operation, and they do it, for nothing. They're not being paid again. So that really, I think, shows and reflects, how volunteers help out in the state of Idaho and how Idaho has developed this over time. And over at this location, at the Interpretive Center, the 2 volunteers over here primarily help out in the office. They help out a lot with interpretive information, providing that to the public, and really conveying the history of the local area, including the historic mining history at Bay Horse Ghost Town, which is also part of the park, as well as Custer, Bonanza, and the Yankee Fork Gold Dredge, which are all really important aspects of what we do here at the park.
I like late May and early June when we have school trips, because that's always like hands on deck when you have 40 kids running around, and I'm just a big kid at heart, so it's fun. I really enjoy the kids, and they all enjoy it as well. It's a lot of fun. And a visit to land of the Yankee Fork State Park is not complete without visiting our gold panning station. So come on, I'm gonna show you how to do this. So as I'm spinning the water, I'm looking right here for gold. There it is. There is your gold flake. So at this time, what I'd tell our park visitors is to dump the water out, come inside, and then we take this gold flake and we put it on a souvenir card that says, "I struck it rich at the land of the Yankee Fork State Park."
So I know early on he did a lot of projects, and this is prior to me. He's helped out with projects up at Bay Horse Ghost Town, some preservation projects up there. That location takes a lot of work in order to preserve that. So future generations are going to be able to come up and hear the history and see those structures. So he's played a pretty big component in that.
people get to come and walk through a self-guided tour of the Bay Horse town site. My first season here, so 2020, and I was working with the ranger at the time, and we re-roofed, so we reframed, re-roofed, and then from there, then I've just gone on and replaced the lower deck, the upper deck, fabricated siding that was missing. It's a labor of love. So Bay Horse is the Idaho's only dedicated OHV state park, and our trail system drops into the town site from various United States Forestry Service trails. So I'm going to go from my park mode to my rec mode, and this is where I turn into a trail ranger, working for the rec side of Parks and Rec. Normally what we initially start to do is just clear deadfall. So we'll go on trails, begin to cut trees. That's why we run with saws. And then from there, we'll identify if a trail needs drainage work, if it needs equipment work to come in. So not only me, there's a dedicated crews on the rec side of IDPR, the R in Idaho Parks and Rec, that are out there doing 10-day stints and doing trail work. It's fun, but the volunteering part is somebody's got to do the work. So forestry is being cut, BLM is being cut. Somebody's got to do it, and if you're going to ride, you got to go out and clear, and you got to do the work. And so I'm already with IDPR, and this was just a natural progression because of my riding already to go and do trail work. I think a lot of it is how you communicate, or one of them is just the bearing. So when I walk up, I have a posture of somebody that's in authority, because that's what I was doing. The hair is always like that. How you introduce yourself, how you conduct, a two-way communication. The 32 years in the military has given me a massive toolkit with tools that I can use in any situation, whether it's on a professional, trying to get work done, or just dealing with the public. So I give all the credit to my mom, but then the Army fine-tuned this stuff. If this is a job, I don't know a whole lot of people that really, really love their job. And so as a volunteer, I don't really look at it as a job. So every opportunity I get to stop to talk to somebody to help them maybe have a better experience or something like that. That's why I do it, because I've ridden just about every forest road and single track within 75 to 100 miles of here. And it's gorgeous country. It's gorgeous country.
And then grab the back with this hand. Then you're going to want to kneel down like this. And then you'll be facing the camera like this. And I'm not kidding.
I think as a lot of people don't volunteer because they don't feel like they know enough. And if you wait till you become an expert on something in order to be able to volunteer, you'll never learn enough to actually be able to contribute.
Sometimes it feels like there's a bit of a barrier to entry because you don't know who's there, you don't know what you're doing when you go. Just show up. And then you'll find yourself doing all kinds of neat things that you never even thought you could do. Whether it's tagging waterfowl, wrestling deer to put radio collars on, all these opportunities for volunteer projects that can come about as you build that network of friends.
The potential for how you can contribute to our agency is limitless and can be very much tailored to your skill set and interests.
There's so many different groups out there that no matter, what your favorite outdoor recreation activity is or your favorite area is, like there's a group out there that needs your help and would take volunteers. So no matter what you're interested in, there's place for you.
You want to volunteer and you want a way to do it that isn't expensive, then come to Idaho, look at Parks and Rec, and find a site that suits what you like to do in the outdoors, and just do it.
Funding for Outdoor Idaho is made possible by the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore and Bettis family legacy of building the great state of Idaho, by the Friends of Idaho Public Television, by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. To find more information about these shows, visit us at idahoptv.org.
Oh, another wonderful Outdoor Idaho program. Congratulations, John, Bill, what a fabulous program. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Outdoor Idaho. It's a wonderful evening here in the studios of Idaho Public Television, and we would love to hear from you on at that number at the bottom of the screen. So we would like to hear a little bit, John, about the characters that you met in this show as we roll some of the thank you gifts.
Yeah, I really hope it translated, like the people up in Priest Lake, Sherry, John, Paula especially, just like such fun people to meet and talk with. And then, we did have Ken Mason down there at Land of the Yankee Fork, and just how much charisma he had getting down there and realizing like how much of him we had to include on screen with that. It was just such a fun experience filming that and putting that together with them.
Well, all of our volunteers have a lot of charisma, and the colonel, Mr. Mason, he actually does a lot more even outside of Land of Yankee Fork.
Yes.
They put in a whole new bridge up at Harriman at Thurman Creek. And I think he spearheaded a lot of that. A lot of people helped, but it's just amazing what type of things our volunteers can do statewide. And they do all sorts of things. They help people find their way around. They help people so that if they get lost, they help people get around construction. They help people deal with lots of wildlife and identifying wildlife. And people love that. They'll go bird watching, or they'll go show them, hey, well, there might be an otter over here you go look at. I mean, I just get lots of calls from lots of people who just feel like they've been very welcomed by our volunteers, and I have to shout out to every single one of them what they do, and even how much they actually help me out. I've had situations where I've had to have some volunteers help me fix some windshields and stuff like that too. So.
And point to that, like he did mention a good number of times just how much of a team effort it was with everyone. You mentioned Harriman, the bridge repair that was up there. We actually had that at one point included, and that might get shown in a show a little bit later on. I know he'd love to have his name in the credits because he did supply us with a ton of pictures on that. But it'd be really cool to kind of like showcase the extra bit of work that they're all going around and doing there.
Well, I feel like it just takes such a team to not only put these programs together, but when you talk about volunteers, our volunteers from Boise State who are here in the studio, want to make sure they have a shout out, and that we also make sure that you can call these folks and make a donation to Idaho Public Television, or you can go online and it will support the projects like this. And it really does take everyone working together, including those of you who are watching at home and enjoying Outdoor Idaho and the quality productions you see here on Thursday nights and Sunday nights on Idaho Public Television. We know you love it. We would love to hear from you. We still do have this availability for the Fred Choate painting. He is painting, he is hard at work, and it's so fun to watch this emerge over the course of the last, 2 hours, going from a yellow sheet, yellow easel there and palette to this beautiful painting of Mount Bora. So please call that number that you see on the screen if you too would like to own a wonderful Fred Choate and have this hanging gallery framed in your home. At that number that you see at the bottom of your screen, 208-373-7246. So we appreciate Fred being here, and that's a wonderful tradition here at Idaho Public Television. The phones are super quiet. We need to hear some of those phones ring. Let's thank some folks who have called in this evening. Do you want to start,
Well,
Bill?
I was also going to. I was also thinking, Susan is volunteering for us tonight,
Yes, she
so
is.
we want to thank her for being here and volunteering your help for Idaho Public Television. So
My
thank
pleasure.
you.
It's been great fun.
So I have a couple thank yous here, Jennifer. I have Chris and Kara DeWitt from Boise. Comment is, "Love my outdoor Idaho. Watch every Sunday." So thank you to
Thank you so
thank
much.
you to the Witts. Liam McGowan from Boise. I have Monique Thurber, also from Boise, and
That's
last
my
but
friend.
Jennifer's friend Monique. Thank you, Monique. And I have Linda Bergerson from Haley. So thank you to everybody who's supported us tonight.
Yeah, and over here we have Michelle Hummel from Athol. We want to thank you. Phil Toomey in Boise, and Paul Boyd in Cul-de-sac.
Nice. And I've got Steve Almeyer from Idaho Falls, and Emily Blackman from Sun Valley, Barbara Bates from Pocatello, and Greg and Maura Pfeiffer from Ketchum.
Well, we appreciate everyone who has called. Thank you for a terrific show. Any last comments about this before we go to?
Just want to thank the director of Parks and Recreation for being with us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys for helping us get the word out about state parks.
Yeah, and thanks to all the wonderful people that we worked with out there to put this show together.
It really does take everyone working together, doesn't
Mhm.
it? So thank you to all of you who have called in. Toss it over to Scott and our friends with Boise State.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Thank you very much, Outdoor Idaho crew. It does. It takes a lot of folks to make the world go around when we're bringing you local productions like Outdoor Idaho. And we've got volunteers behind us. You've seen them in the shots. They are from the Boise State University School of Public Service. And Andy Giacomazzi is here. And Andy, I don't know if this was just a happy accident, but the fact that you guys are here on the night that we're showing off a new show about volunteerism, it feels right.
I mean, it really does. And I have to say, I love so many of these Outdoor Idaho episodes, but Doing Good Outdoors is honestly one of my favorites. And it really highlights the kinds of things that we emphasize in the School of Public Service, no matter what discipline that is. If it's political science or criminal justice or environmental studies, it doesn't matter. What we're trying to do is make sure that our students have these durable skills, that they're good readers and writers and critical thinkers, and that they do their civic duties and go out there and volunteer and experience the outdoors through their own efforts and making an impact, just like we saw in this program tonight. And so we are delighted to be here tonight, just in general, but certainly while Doing Good Outdoors was playing here on Idaho Public Television. And I just want to say to 800-980-4788, because we got some phones that haven't rung in a while, and others are coming up right now. So
well, we
yeah.
appreciate it. We're going to do a lightning round of names because we have heard from a lot of folks tonight during Outdoor Idaho. Thank you to everyone who's called. I'll go real quick with 5, and then how about you do 5?
Sure.
Mike and Jody Ward in Payette, thank you very much. Dana and Patty Silvers in Murtaugh, we really appreciate you. Patty, thank you very much. Douglas Gochner, thank you very much. Douglas is out in Star. We appreciate your pledge of support. Susan Baloff, Susan says we love Outdoor Idaho. That Susan is in Boise. Jill Roach, thank you, Jill, from Post Falls. We appreciate your donation to Outdoor Idaho.
And I've got Ruth Brueggemann from Meridian, Idaho. Thank you, Ruth. Nancy and Ron Hadel from Ontario, Oregon. Thank you for watching us out there. James and Judith Jackson from Teutonia, Idaho. I hope I said that right. Teutonia? Yeah. And Randy Weston. Thank you, Randy from Caldwell, Idaho, who says, I love PBS. I agree with you on that.
We got a lot more to read. I'm going to do one more real quick. This is an individual who asked that her name not be read on air. She loves Idaho. She lives in Washington State, but she loves Idaho the most. And thank you very much for making your pledge of support. We appreciate it. We're Idaho proud as well. You got a couple more there?
No, I'm done
You're
with
done.
mine,
All right.
yeah.
Let's see. Douglas Balfour in Pocatello. Douglas, thank you very much. Jill Roach. Did I just read Jill in Post Falls? Jill, thank you again. Boz Van Dorn in Boise, thank you.
Oh, that's Angie's husband. Thanks, Boz.
Oh.
We appreciate you. I bet you he called to get the hydro flask and the coffee. That's what my prediction
We'll
is.
take it. Kathy Edmondson. Kathy, thank you very much. She's in Meridian tonight watching Outdoor Idaho on Idaho Public Television. 800-980-4788, idahoptv.org. Let's send it over to Jeff, our general manager.
All right. So now we are hearing a lot of calls from a lot of individuals around the entire state, and we do have a goal here tonight.
We do.
Do we think we can make it?
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Wow. Oh, for the gem goal.
Oh, first gems.
We're blowing that out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic there, but we also have the goal.
The monetary goal.
The monetary goal, which is 100,000. We're at 92,000.
Oh, we are so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. So we have a few breaks left in Decemberfest. We need to hear from you. It's very important that we hear from you this time of year. And right now,
about an hour.
We got an hour to go. A few breaks to go. We need to hear from you. And so, in this last year, you've probably heard about the Corporation for Public Broadcasting shutting down. That does not mean that PBS or Idaho Public Television is closing its doors. We are not. Now, when the CPB went away, that cut us about $2.2 million. We know we're not going to be able to make that up with ongoing funds tonight. We're not going to be able to make that up tonight, but we need those gym memberships to grow because that's what will fill that gap. And we want to hear from you. 1-800-980-4788. Keep these students awake and from studying. We don't want them to study. Is that
Even more importantly, we don't.
Well, we do,
like
because they're our future, and we need future.
That is very, very true. We have some wonderful thank you gifts. If you'd like to call in, I'm just going to hawk the great Hydro Flask that we have with our Idaho Public Television logo. You can wear that loud and proud and drink some coffee from Dawson Taylor with our Sunrise Blend. Also like to thank Winco for keeping us fed tonight. We appreciate that as well. Please call in with a one-time donation or a monthly sustaining donation. We would sure appreciate it. 1-800-980-4788. Thank you.
Support for this program is provided by Adrian Arsht, Virginia McGee Friend, the Dwight D. Opperman Foundation, the Consortium for Art and Culture in America, David M. Rubenstein, and Christine Schwarzman. This program is made possible in part